Mike Baptiste here.
Carl Schultz here.
Sam Corbett here.
Julie Moran here.
And Jane Gleason here. Preliminary business. We've got some meeting notes from October 20th. I guess Josh is not gonna
Were
join
they
us.
distributed? I didn't see them.
They
Didn't see them on email.
Excuse me?
I didn't see them on our email chain at all.
I did not see them on email either.
I think I got a copy. I can't imagine that they sent them just to me, and found some Scrivener's errors that I returned to the planning office, but if nobody got them, then we'll have to,
Well, check your, were they sent to just you or all of us?
let me check.
Because a lot of times Patty used to just send them to the chair for review.
Yeah.
It depends on who you got them from. Did you get a copy, Sam?
I don't think so.
That was,
All right, so
I did not.
I move that we defer discussion of the
nobody's-
minutes.
if nobody has had a chance to look them over, certainly we should move them to the next meeting.
And then just make sure they get distributed.
Yes, absolutely. I did not think to look
Josh is not here.
because the-
Josh is not here yet, so.
No. So 11:24. Okay, moving right along, continued public hearings, item number 1, 3-25 is the project number, 1031 Pierceville Road, definitive residential subdivision.
Good evening, William Connolly, Zenith Consulting Engineers.
Could you spell your name for the record for our Scrivener?
Yes, Connelly.
Okay. And could you raise your right hand? And could you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
So I understand it's been a while since we last met about this project. But we received a letter on November 4th from Alan Major saying that we addressed all their concerns. We also met with the Conservation Commission last week, and that hearing was continued because we hadn't received a DP file number yet, but they didn't seem to have any major concerns. So that being said, I guess I'll open it up to questions or comments from the board.
So I've got a fairly long list here of items that seem to be open. I don't know if any of the other members would like to.
You could go through it. My question is, did we get a copy of the Allen and Majors letter?
What was the date on the Allen and Majors
November
letter?
4th?
that you
November
were-
4th. I have it right here if you
Yeah, no,
want to look at it.
You sent it to the office, right? You didn't send it to us.
That's correct, through the chair. I sent
Yeah.
it into the office. We did issue it very late last week. We weren't aware there was an update to the application materials provided by the applicant, so as soon as we got notified, we jumped on them so we could get a letter back over. But it was issued at the tail end of the week, so I don't know if the board received it.
Yeah, the last letter that I've got is September 30.
Right.
Agreed.
So I think that there were a number of issues still outstanding in that letter that may or may not have been addressed in this November 4th letter. So
I can, Madam Chair, just very, very briefly, I could give a quick summary and then to the board's discretion proceed. There were a few technical matters that were still open that they did revise and address through their latest round of comments. Some very minor calculation errors, consistency errors, that at this point, the letter on November 4th essentially stated to you all that the technical matters were resolved and that I was advising of some potential conditions should you wish to act on the application, because things that were outstanding were the nature of how they were introducing street trees on the subdivision, the nature of how they were introducing driveway lanterns versus street lighting. Those had to be resolved. There was also one issue of some potential runoff towards the neighbor that was at the last meeting, Mr. Christofalski, forgive me if I butchered his name, to make sure that the runoff concerns that he expressed are adequately taken care of. Those were the last few notes that we had for you. And I'm happy to walk through them in more detail.
Okay, well, maybe what I could do is go through what I had on my list, and you can, tell me that they're resolved, or does that make sense?
Certainly.
Given that we don't have the benefit of that November 4th letter. So Concom status was the first item, but it sounds like you met with them last week. And so I guess their review is pending you're getting a DP file number?
Yeah, so they wanted a few more things staked out on site so that they could see them. So they'll be doing another site walk, I believe, before the next meeting. So that's pretty much what we're waiting on now is the file number, and then also a few items being staked out in the field.
So I will reiterate that we will need their letter of approval or their order of conditions or determination of non-applicability before we can vote.
Understood.
So, again, this may be old, but the last time we met, we talked about the HOA organization and supporting documents for that organization.
Yes, I don't believe we have any update on that as far as the HOA goes.
Okay, because I think that there were a handful of things that were hinging on having an HOA in place to sort of control or monitor. The next item that I've got is the drainage easements. Lots 1 and lot 6 have depressions in them that are critical to the stormwater management system, and they'll need easements to ensure that they're not filled in by the property owner once the property is transferred.
Madam Chair, one of the elements that did change is they removed one of those depressions, which is perfectly adequate relative to the drainage calculations, but it slightly increased the chance of runoff to Mr. Christofalski's property, and that is referenced in a suggested condition of increased erosion and maintenance and obligations during construction to make sure that that doesn't adversely affect the abutter.
That's
So
an important one.
Do you feel that that's been resolved with the changes that have been made?
I do, from a drainage standpoint, from a technical standpoint, from a runoff condition, I do to all of those. But again, I just want to bring to the board's attention just that concern the abutter had and a method that we can ensure that this project doesn't worsen that.
So do you think that an easement around that would make sense? Or
The easement is no longer necessary. They've actually removed the depression that would have required the maintenance, that would have required the easement. They've gone to a more natural runoff condition, which wouldn't require any maintenance obligation, post-construction. Sorry.
Madam Chair, did we see these updated plans?
I have not seen them.
Have the updated plans, Josh is not here, so I don't
We
know.
don't have the benefit of Josh. being
Yeah, I
here.
believe they were submitted.
That doesn't mean they were posted on the website.
Oh,
Okay,
I don't,
all right.
I'm not
Do you
sure.
know what date they were submitted?
Um, the latest revision date is October 7th, so I believe it was at least 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so I'll have to go look for,
Yeah,
I
we'll have
haven't
to
seen
go-
them.
Yeah, we'll have to go look for
Yeah.
that, okay. Going down my list here, lighting, there was discussion about a light at the intersection. There was also discussion about the driveway lights serving as the street lighting. And I just am curious where that got left off.
Yes, we were proposing a, a light on the utility pole at the intersection, as well as driveway lanterns, and we provided details for both of those, I believe.
So I guess, okay, the sidewalks, I guess there was a vote previously for when the preliminary subdivision plan came before us to do, one side instead of two. But
That was a discussion point.
there was a
but-
discussion, that was a
Yeah.
discussion point, right.
So we just have to formalize that in the, whatever, for the definitive, or not.
So I was seeing language that said that it was previously approved as one side only.
Presented as not zero, I think.
Well, it's difficult to say. Voting on a preliminary subdivision plan does not bind anything. It's merely,
Okay.
I mean, it's a suggestion, and certainly should consider that, but
So the,
once you get the definitive plan,
yeah, right,
that's
right.
what,
Yeah, the
that's
plans
what,
have been, they've been updated to show the sidewalk along the one side, like, was,
right, and that just needs to be a finding that we make one way or the other when we,
So the other part of that was that Phil pointed out that there was it amounts to 2,650 square feet of impervious surface, and that needs to be added into the calculations, and I don't know if that's been done.
So they did take care of that with the addition of the sidewalk on one side. The original issue was when the application was submitted, it didn't have any sidewalks.
Right.
So it was not adhering to the original preliminary discussion. They've since revised it to only have the one. The drainage calculations account for it. So obviously, when the board ultimately renders a decision, it would be that one sidewalk is appropriate, whereas two is the standard under the subdivision rules.
I would propose two.
what?
I would propose one on each side. Because the street I live on, first house, second, third, all have little kids, no sidewalk. So they come down, they play in the road. The kids on this side have the ability to stay on the sidewalk, not in the road. So just my experience on my street, that's what happens in real life.
So do we want to discuss that further, or?
What's your feeling?
I understand, and appreciate the idea that if there are kids living there, that sidewalks are pretty critical.
On the question, it's before I say, could you show me on the plan the sidewalk, please?
yeah, so it runs along the northern side up to basically the throat of the cul-de-sac.
Okay, and where is the first house on the sidewalk located?
Right here, probably,
And how far from the I guess it's Pierceville Road, right?
Pierceville?
Yeah,
um,
I'm just saying, how far is the house, you know?
I would say roughly 75 feet.
Okay, and then on the other side, where's the first house that doesn't have the sidewalk?
Probably like 250 feet.
So it looks like the side that was selected
So there's,
picks up 2 of the 6 houses.
right, so there's no, running your finger along on the bottom, there's no houses for several hundred feet.
Correct.
So were you suggesting, Sam, that the sidewalk on both sides go all the way out to Pierceville Road? Or somewhere near where that first house on the,
If it ends before the road, the bus is gonna have to wait for them, the kids are gonna have to walk down the mud, the snow, the rain, the whatever. I mean, put yourself in their position.
well, okay, in discussion, if, for example, on the top side, the right side, I'm gonna call the top of the map, the right side of the road, because there's a house fairly close, they're obligated to shovel, or the homeowner association, that we haven't seen the agreement, somebody's obligated to shovel at least in front of that house, but it's not clear who's responsible for the remainder out to the street. If we put 200 feet of sidewalk on the bottom half, certainly that poor soul who buys that first house on the left is not gonna volunteer to shovel. Maybe they're a good soul and they might.
I'm in that
No,
position.
no, I'm discussing.
I'm just letting you know where I'm,
No, I'm not arguing with
Okay.
you. So if, for example, that condition were to be imposed, and that's how, the HOA should be clear that they're responsible for clearing the sidewalk if it's there.
I agree.
Somebody needs to be, I mean, they're responsible for they'll be responsible for snow removal on the roads. If we impose that sidewalk, someone needs to raise their hand and say, we're responsible for
Or-
snow removal.
or the HOA comes up with a procedure of every other, or whatever's fair.
However it gets
Right.
done, it has to be, all right, okay.
I-
Those were my, I now understand the sidewalk issue. I have no questions at the moment.
Well, I think that the sidewalk seems to be less useful once it gets past the second house.
Right. The sidewalk on the upper side, we felt made a lot more sense, where they can just walk across the street and use the sidewalk. This is just kind of a lot of useless space up in here that we can leave vegetated and.
Right, but once you get past that second and third house driveway, having it on the upper side of the street means that kids have to cross the street to get to that sidewalk.
Kids cross streets all the time.
I know that, but if you're looking for safety for them,
Wait, okay.
Okay, I live on a street like that. I'm the first house in, but there's a lot in between me and the road. And I'm a good soul, so I take care of it. But if I wasn't, it wouldn't be shoveled, wouldn't be taken care of. My point is, they have to come up with some way of ensuring that that's done.
Well,
Well,
but
that's-
that would need to be
It's
in
gonna
the
be
HOA.
more
I
like-
agree,
HOA,
it has to be
yeah.
addressed. I just want to make sure that it's addressed. Because,
Understood.
okay,
okay.
All right, but
Agreed.
that doesn't resolve his request that we require sidewalk on both sides of the road. My opinion is, we reviewed the preliminary plan. At that time, it was fairly close to this design, wasn't exactly this design, but we felt that one sidewalk at that time. And we signaled to the developer and that one sidewalk would be good. I would think it's unfair to add that imposition at this point. That's my input.
And I disagree.
I understand your point. So that's my discussion. And we don't have to decide today, but
Yeah,
we may-
I would agree with that fairness issue, having presumably discussed it and voted on it with the preliminary, that it's difficult to say, yeah, no, not anymore. But
unless something significantly changed.
it may be unfair to him, but it's also unfair to the people on the street with kids.
right, but I do wonder if there's a solution that keeps it on one side of the road that would actually serve the houses better by having it cross the road once with maybe even a sleeping policeman or whatever, and where those two driveways are almost across from each other. Switch sides. Have it on the side where the houses are.
I think it's a great idea.
Are there there's no houses?
No
after-
houses on the other
No.
side.
Oh. Oh, so that's a good, interesting point,
That still stays on one side,
but not the same
but
side.
it serves the houses better.
Right?
Yeah,
the
That's
way
a
they're
good compromise.
for safety as well,
Yeah.
right?
Julie, do you have more that you want to add, or?
No, I think I agree with you. I think that, given that there aren't any, from what I could tell on that side, I think that a sidewalk on the other side is imperative. And I think that the HOA, we need to work with them around maintenance and clearing and all of that, de-icing. That's really important.
Can you clarify for me where the property boundary is for the second house, the inboard one on the top of the road? That one, yeah, where's the property? So does their property run all the way along where that sidewalk is?
Going,
This lot here,
Yes.
in the front, yeah.
Does it go all the way down to the circle, to the cul-de-sac?
Pretty much, maybe like 50 feet in front of where that cul-de-sac starts.
So
so it's a
theoretically,
real pie-shaped lot.
yeah, so theoretically, that second house has the responsibility of cleaning the entire sidewalk for the whole neighborhood, rather than splitting it up so that every house has responsibility for some portion of it. Seems to make
Or it
sense.
becomes the HOA's responsibility.
Yeah, yep, that's a
Yeah.
possibility.
Seems like that's the only logical and
Well,
fair
if
solution.
that's gonna be the case, then the HOA's gotta handle having a place to store snow removal equipment. and-
Right, Madam Chair,
Yes.
through you to the town planner. Mr. Farady, I don't have the general law bylaws, and I don't have the zoning bylaws. I don't think it would be in the zoning bylaws. Is there an ordinance requiring homeowners to clear sidewalks in front of their home in town?
I suppose that would depend on what the HOA sets up.
No, I wanted to know if there was a
Okay, if
general
there's a
ordinance
general one.
in
Okay.
town.
Yep,
Not that I'm aware of. Let me do a little research. I don't think so, though.
Many towns do. Every town I lived in before moving to Wareham, and that's not good guidance, but always had that requirement, but, okay.
Madam Chair, before you move off of the sidewalk discussion, can I just add just a point for the board's consideration? Even though this is a very low-speed roadway, there's only a few homes on it, and I understand the board's thought process on switching the sidewalk so it balances across the site. Just from a general traffic flow perspective, you do want to try to avoid what's called a mid-block crossing, which means you put a sidewalk in the middle of a street. Vehicle driver perception, crosswalks occur at intersections, maybe at the end by a cul-de-sac, but in the middle of the road could be a unintended hazard. You can certainly add signs, pedestrian crossing, yield to pedestrians, and those do require motorists to stop by law. However, it is generally frowned upon to put a crosswalk in the middle of a street
yeah,
where it changes from
Okay.
side to side.
understood.
So
Yeah, thank you.
if you wanted sidewalks, maybe the idea might be to move the sidewalk to the other side in its entirety where it straddles 4 homes instead of the 2. But I just wanted to give you that thought to consider.
I'm looking at it, wondering if there's any logic to putting it at the bend in the street or something. So if there's-
I agree.
Anyway.
I understand them. Is there a design hardship by just putting the sidewalk on the other side?
So it's gonna impact this abutter. It's gonna get very tricky,
I've got
to
some
grade it
grading.
without impacting that abutter with stormwater runoff. Cause this is the high point in here, and where it really narrows up in there.
So that would be an issue if we required sidewalks on both sides as well.
Correct.
All right, we've got to think
Yeah.
through that. I don't know. We're not
Yeah.
going to close the hearing today anyway, right?
Well, and it's not for us to resolve.
What do you mean?
Well,
We have to resolve whether we're gonna require one side or
Yeah.
two sides, and site plan review, we could, as a condition, say which side of the road it's on.
well, I almost want to let the applicant take a stab at it.
Oh, no, but we need to tell him whether he's gotta design two sidewalks or one sidewalk.
Or a partial.
Or come up with a solution that serves the houses better than this is doing.
Okay, all right.
And that could be partially on one side and partially on the other.
Hearing Mr. Cadero's advice, I would be not in favor of that. But again, that's my input.
As a compromise, I would be in favor of that.
What's that?
As a compromise, I would be in favor of that.
Yeah, so I think that the applicant can,
Right.
we're not the design team, so. You're hearing what our concerns are.
Yeah, as long as we just get some guidance on where you would like us to, what you would like to see.
The applicant needs to know whether there's a waiver or of the sidewalk in the zoning, which was implied in the preliminary subdivision.
Let's get the input from the other two members.
Mike?
I lived in West Wareham. We never had exact sidewalks in the olden days, but times are changing. I think they can make it work,
Yeah.
With one side or two?
both sides. Because, little kids don't know any boundaries,
Julie, do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I think if there's and listening to what Phil had proposed, I think that there's a recognition that there is a safety issue. And I think that it's not a huge subdivision. This isn't 300 homes or 30 homes. So I would err on, and I understand that preliminarily it was discussed by other prior board members, but I would err on the side of safety. And if we can work out a way that that is addressed, because I don't think right now the way it's proposed addresses that, then that would be what I would be in favor
of. Madam Chair, through you to the town planner, I think Julie raised an interesting point that this is a small subdivision, not a large we recently approved a large subdivision on a very busy road and I don't believe we required sidewalks on both sides of the road. And I don't remember, through you to the town planner, do you remember, Mr. Farady, what we did for,
Yep, pulling up the plans now, I'll let you know.
I believe we only required one sidewalk on one side, but I could be wrong. And then I would argue that we can't be arbitrary and capricious and require in some places and not others without significantly a good reason.
I have another.
Well, I
alternate-
just want to, we don't have to, we can wait, go ahead.
I have
Yeah.
another alternate suggestion. That it's two-sided up until just past the elbow in the road. And then beyond that, it's on the lower side of the road. I'm looking at that sidewalk on the upper side of the road from the second house all the way to the cul-de-sac, not serving anybody well. And I understand the desire for a two-sided sidewalk. I also appreciate that it was voted early on that one side was okay. So in the name of finding a compromise and serving those properties that will potentially have houses on every one of them well, presumably having kids at all of those houses, that maybe the best way to solve it is to have two-sided up to the second house and then one-sided on the lower side in front of those houses instead of across the street.
Okay, so just two-sided up to lot 2, the driveway there.
Yeah. So that somebody living in house 1 and house 2 can get out to Pierceville Road without crossing the street on the sidewalk. And the houses all the way back to the end of the cul-de-sac can also get onto a sidewalk and walk out to Pierceville Road without having to cross the street.
Except that creates the hardship on the abutters.
It does,
for
but
the-
if we go to two-sided, you got that
Okay.
anyway.
All right.
So we need you to get creative and figure out a way to make that work.
Well, we
We
haven't.
can make
we
it
haven't-
work,
Think?
it's just a matter of, it's gonna be,
Are we gonna vote on that?
Yeah, we should vote on it, but that's my feeling, is creativity at that point.
I don't understand what purpose having a sidewalk out to Pierceville Road on that side serves.
Well, where are we getting those kids to? Where's the bus coming to, the school bus? Right,
We-
isn't
we-
that
we know
Pierceville
yet.
Road
We
that
don't-
goes
We
this
don't know
way?
where the bus stop will be,
Isn't Pierceville Road the one that goes up and down the sheet?
yes.
Yes.
So that's, if that's where the bus comes, then that's
But
what they have to get out.
We don't know that that's where the bus stop will be.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's where it's gonna be,
Why?
because that's where the kid's gonna be. I mean,
Until the bus route is laid out by the people who lay the bus route out, it could be anywhere.
Well, the bus route's gonna lay itself out to find the kids. They're not gonna say, well,
not gonna go
No,
to,
that's not how it goes. They tell you where your bus stop is and you walk to it.
that's not what I've experienced. That they'll, if there are kids there, they're gonna come down Pierceville
There
Road.
are bus stops assigned.
well, in my neighborhood, it's just like this. The kids walk on the sidewalk down the end of the road.
All right,
They're not gonna walk on the other side.
I'm not gonna say anymore.
So, any other thoughts?
Tell them to get creative.
Yeah,
They do it for
I
everyone
like
else.
I like your thoughts, Jane. You know,
So I guess I'm looking for a motion to,
For a condition of,
yeah, that the sidewalks be on two sides up to the house 2. I'm assuming that's house 2, the second house off of Pierceville Road. And that it be on one side, on the side of the houses, back to the house at the cul-de-sac.
Madam Chair, if I may, just answering the question Mr. Schultz posed, it appears that the subdivision that you recently approved off of County Road has a single sidewalk going from the entrance in until you reach the first street off of the main one. And it appears that the interior of the subdivision has sidewalks that go on both sides.
Are there houses on both sides of the street?
Yeah, maybe it'd be appropriate if I just showed you what I'm looking at. But there's a small 6 house cul-de-sac that has a sidewalk that covers three houses, and then the rest of the cul-de-sac remains unsidewalked. Let me
I don't know. The point is that we didn't require 2 sidewalks out to the main road.
Would it make sense to end the sidewalk on the top side of the road here and have the sidewalk on this side service those 4 houses?
That's what I was,
But
that's what I was
that
originally
creates the
suggesting. Yeah, that was what I was originally
create the
suggesting.
crosswalk.
And Mr. Cordero pointed out that having a crosswalk mid-street where there's not an intersection is a safety issue. That it's difficult for drivers to know that, you know, there aren't other cues around that tell them that
Right.
they need to slow down at that point.
We're talking about five houses.
6.
Okay, one down, one. Are you still in favor of that motion?
I do. Do
So moved.
you have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Mike Baptiste, aye.
Sam Corbett, aye.
Julie
Carl.
Moran, aye.
Carl Schultz, no.
And Jane Gleason, aye. So. 1-0.
Madam Chair, if you want me to continue, I do have that site plan pulled up on the screen for you. You can see, coming off of County Road, there's a single sidewalk that follows this side of the road. It comes all the way until you hit your first intersection, where if you cross the street, it looks like double sidewalk down till you hit your first intersection. Actually, it remains double all the way down to the cul-de-sac where you would have a crossing here. As you go interior, it remains double sidewalked until you hit this interior cul-de-sac where you have a single sidewalk that ends here. And then the rest of it remains double.
And single along.
Yeah, it appears that it's single here and single all the way up to the end of the cul-de-sac here.
There's no houses on the other side, though.
Yeah.
So that seems pretty consistent with what we're asking this applicant to do, in my mind, that the crosswalks are happening at intersections.
Yeah, but there's no intersection in this.
Right.
Right, there's no intersection in this, so that's what makes
And a
it
handful of
difficult to,
houses.
Yeah.
but there are houses, and I think that at
You
the,
have a vote and a motion, so we
We're
don't.
done.
Yeah,
you don't
Yeah.
have to-
this looks pretty similar to
sorry,
kind of what you're looking at, but just for reference.
okay, moving on down my list, sorry this is taking so long. Fire department, have you had any comments from the fire department? Has anything come in?
I don't believe we have. We can reach out to the fire department and ensure that,
And has a sweat
It's-
path analysis been done, is that there?
I believe we provided one. If not, we can provide that. I don't know if
That
it was
would be-
provided with this plan set, but that's certainly something we could do.
Any comments from other departments?
None at this
Josh?
time.
None, okay. And the street trees, some of the street trees were gonna be located in the front yards, and, that's some language that, I would assume would be in the HOA, or needs to be in the HOA, structure to ensure maintenance, because they're gonna be on the lots that, once they're transferred, they're sort of out of control of being maintained. So that's something that I think is critical for that HOA language to include. So, now that I've taken up all our time, any other comments from other members?
Well, I know you hit all the lights, HOA, the fire, Christopolsky. Are we going to get the HOA documents prior to approval? Because we keep saying these people have to be responsible. We got to condition it or make sure it's in the HOA.
I think,
I believe at the last meeting, we did discuss that that would need to be, something we would have to review in advance, particularly with the conversation that we've had over the last several meetings. I think it's important.
Either that or we just make it a condition of approval.
I just want to be sure where it's going to go.
Well, otherwise, Carl would be writing the HOA documents.
It's part of the conditions.
Yeah, I mean, facetious, I wasn't saying we
yeah.
should.
No,
I think that
No.
they should create a draft. We can comment on it.
so I think that would be good to provide us with a
Yeah,
draft.
that's understood.
Any other comments?
No, I think, Jane, you covered my list. I know for applicant, it's a challenge. The fire department is short-handed. You might, if you haven't done so, stop by the office. I know that they get a lot of emails and they're very short-staffed, so you might consider that. But we do need response from the fire department, and we do need Concom resolution. As we said, a couple of meetings, prior meetings about that.
In our last, I believe we approved a SPR without the fire department letter, just conditioning it because they can't get a building permit without the fire department. We did do that action at the last meeting to be consistent. We've got to,
Yeah, we've got to be able to move forward.
and we've also got
and
to,
we
we've got
can't-
to start,
On where the fire department is not
right,
part of the town,
right.
we're not in a
Yeah.
position where we can force them to
Force them.
respond.
So do what you can in the next meeting.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have, our applicant will have something.
So, shall we continue to?
Public comment? It's a
Oh,
public hearing.
Yes, public comment. Thank you.
You have a lot here.
So wrapped up and, anybody from the public who would like to speak? Seeing no one?
Is there anyone in the audience?
Is there anyone in the audience? John? No? So, continue this to, the first meeting in December, I believe.
December.
Yeah, December 8th, I think
Yeah.
is the,
Make a motion, we continue to December 8th.
Second,
all in favor?
Mike Baptiste, aye.
Corbett, aye.
Carl
Julie
Schultz.
Marie and I.
Aye.
Jane Gleason, aye, so 500. Moving right along. Next item on the agenda,
Thank you all for your time.
thank you, thank you. Project number 10-25, Conserve Group, 6 Recovery Road for site plan review.
Bill Madden from JF Engineering here on behalf of Conserve,
Can you spell your name for the,
Madden.
thank you, and do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. So, I'll let you,
Okay, the last time we were here, I think there was only one outstanding matter, and that was with the Conservation Commission, obtaining the order of conditions for the work that was to take place outside of the 50-foot no activity zone on the property, shown in this purple line, and the BVW shown with the yellow line. It's my understanding they had this is the BVW, there's
Yep.
the 50-foot offset.
Yep.
No disturbance there. Our project, we have a large retaining wall across the back of the property line, on the east side of the property line. So this wall, this wall is located, I don't know, 8 or 10 feet Something to that, along those lines, at the closest point to the wall. There's adequate area in there for them to construct that wall, to place it from the construction side up, let's call it the southerly side of the site up. And my understanding is that Conservation reviewed the project last Wednesday and approved it and voted to issue an order of conditions for the work to proceed. There's no wetlands alteration proposed. Stormwater meets the stormwater standards of the Commonwealth, and all of our activity stands to occur beyond 50 feet away from the wetland line itself. In most cases, pretty substantially beyond that, well beyond the 100-foot buffer zone, which is right through the middle of the site. And other than that, I believe that we have a letter from Alan Major dated the 28th of October that essentially agreed, or our responses to their comments have all been met with approval, and I think that we're pretty much have a clean letter from them on the project based on the prior 2 reviews.
What was the, excuse me, through you, Madam Chair, to Mr. Madden, what was the date on
I have October 28th as the date on the letter in front of me.
did we get a copy of that letter? I don't,
I believe it was on the site. I've got a copy of it.
but was it sent? If I didn't go look, if nobody told me to go look for it. And I don't remember seeing it. Okay, I'll go look for it. So is there a new practice now that we're not going to get input distributed to us and we have to regularly go check each project and look for changes and updates? Is that the new policy?
I thought that's pretty much been the policy.
No,
This
that
went
would-
out- This went out to everybody.
I missed it then. I
It went out on
apologize.
10:30.
I saw it.
Okay. I apologize. I will go look for it. One more question, Madam Chair, through you. Josh is gone. I guess I'll ask Mr. Madden. We did not meet on this application on the 20th, did we?
The 20th
Of October.
we met, I don't recall what date we met. We
We met on the 6th, but I don't, it was not on the
I think you're
agenda.
right.
It was not on the agenda for the 20th. So my concern is using our record, which I used to tracking when we meet on things. It's listed that we met on the 20th for this hearing. So we need to just,
On the matrix, it shows that.
yes.
on
So,
our-
because I use that when we
Yeah.
do findings of fact and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff, so we just
Yeah, that needs to be corrected.
correct it, okay.
The only other thing that I was seeing in the Allen and Major letter was with regard to, no, I guess it says, issue resolved, no further comment. This is about the parking and the 15% reduction. Shared parking, which is across the street.
No, Madam Chair, at the last meeting on October 6th, there was the discussion that the adequate number of parking spaces would be shared between the 2 buildings in a common area in the center. The board, I got the sense from the board that you all seem to be generally in agreement, so we had no further issue to note for the applicant. I think they were like 2 spaces short of
Yep.
being fully compliant with zoning, but certainly seems applicable here.
Yeah, on the 6th, we indicated that we were open to granting the 15% shared parking waiver, and
Yep.
if we were to vote, that would need to be stated in our approval.
Yeah.
Or not, if we don't approve site plan reviews, it would just need to be noted in our conditions.
Yeah. That was the only thing that I saw. Any of the other board members?
Not this one.
Comments, Julie?
No, I reviewed the letter as well. I'm fine.
Okay. Any members of the public who wish to speak on this? Anybody online? Thank you. So we still do not have the conditions from Concom, but we have a report that they've approved. So is the board comfortable with moving forward based on that?
Conditional?
Well, we don't approve it, we only set conditions,
Close this.
so.
So is everybody comfortable with closing it? before
Make a motion to close the hearing.
we get a second?
You just need a second?
Are you not comfortable with,
Well, we figured everything's gonna be okay with COMCOM, we're assuming, right?
If I might interject, it is all approved through conservation. They closed the public hearing and voted to issue an order of conditions. And they have a timeframe that allows them a little bit of time to write that order and issue it, but that
60
was those were the findings of the meeting last Wednesday.
A second.
okay,
Just one question.
Sure.
I just had did you get the final letter from the fire department? I had an open note that you still hadn't got a fire department letter.
I have not seen that letter.
Again, we have another, thank you, I'm not surprised, but I had an open item that we've got to decide what we're going to do about it.
Somebody needs to sit down with the fire department and discuss this issue. We're holding up at least 3 different projects right now.
I move that, I support the motion to move forward, so
to close the.
you have a
public hearing.
motion and a second to close the public hearing.
Yeah, I'm just
but-
debating about whether, in my head,
You can not call the vote, but if we close the public hearing, then the letter becomes moot because we can't accept it as evidence.
anybody on the board have any reservations about that? Aside from procedural?
We just make it a condition of the site plan review. That it meets, and the building department's gonna require it anyway.
Right.
Okay.
And then it doesn't require any changes to the plan as a result.
Well, if it
Basically, it would
requires
have to be a
changes to the
neutral
plan, then it
response.
becomes a modification and we go through
Exactly,
the
yeah.
whole process.
All right, well,
Yeah.
then let's move forward with the vote.
We're gonna close the public hearing.
Yes, to
So-
close,
My motion
we've
is
got a
second.
motion in place to close the
And
public
second.
hearing, and a second, so we'll proceed with that vote.
Aye.
Corbett, aye.
Carl Schultz, aye.
Julie Moran, aye.
Jane Gleason, aye. All right, so we've got 60 days to write our conditions.
Yes. And I think you can invite the applicant to submit his input as well as citizens, and
Yes.
we all have our input. And I propose that we continue to review the standard order of, excuse me, not order of conditions, standard conditions of approval that we drafted and we have not further reviewed.
Right, that we need to put that on as an agenda item to review those. But the invitation goes out to the public and to the applicant to provide any thoughts on conditions.
Any suggested conditions that we may have that you might entertain?
I have a couple that I've written down. First of all, we would have a condition around the fire department.
Recordation of the order of conditions.
Sorry,
Well, they have to abide by the order of conditions from the Concom anyway.
But it's not effective until it's recorded, so that's what we want.
Yep. They did the revised groundwater mounding calculations based on total volume. That was done.
Yes.
So we don't need to have that condition. granite curbing at the throat of the parking lot,
It's been added to the plan.
okay? Landscaping architect on the final plan, stamp. on the
It's
plan.
been done.
Yep. 2 shade trees somewhere, and then the condition on the fire department and other than the standard
Yeah.
stuff, I didn't have anything specific. Thanks, it's a nice project. It took a little effort to,
Thank you.
actually, I can even vote on this one.
Madam Chair, if I may, the Concom approved and issued the order of conditions.
They did issue the.
Yep.
Okay,
Oh.
all right. That was one
Bill said that
question. We
earlier.
knew they approved or had heard that they approved,
Yep.
but did not know that the
Approved
conditions
and
are done.
issued.
Okay.
Normally, they have 21 days to issue order of conditions after they approve.
Okay. All right.
All right, so we just need to write what do we do to vote? We don't approve it, so we just have to vote on the conditions when we have the
Conditions.
document written, right?
Correct.
You've done it both ways historically. One time you brought it back to the board to vote on the conditions themselves, and I think more recently you just signed the document. Members came in and signed the document.
It's your call. If you want to review them in public or with the applicant.
Some of it's a timing issue, so,
We have 60 days from today.
yeah, well,
60 days,
we've
right,
run
for
up
site plan
against it
review?
with some projects.
That gets
so.
us to Christmas.
Yeah, put you in the middle of the Christmas season and, God forbid you get to that time and we haven't done it by then.
Ideally,
Personally, I think it's better for the planning department if you come in review, or even if I email for your review and you come in and sign.
So what vote do we need to take, if any, today, then? None.
You're good. You closed.
All right.
So all set with me?
I think so.
But
Thank you,
tonight-
Bill. Have a
Thank
good
you,
evening.
Bill.
All right, well,
Thank you.
thanks very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Madam Chair, would you mind a brief discussion before you start your next hearing? I'd like to get the opinion of the board on when the requirement of the fire department's approval came into play. And the only reason I ask that is it seems like we have a list of departments that we request input from. But I just don't know the procedural history of when it happened. Did we discuss with those departments that we really want your input? Did they even come forward and say like, hey, we really want to give our input?
The fire department is the only one.
Right.
Wait, Conservation Commission is clearly documented in.
Right, you have a requirement that you have a decision from Conservation Commission. Yep.
It's been, I think, historical practice on the fire department, but I don't
But where they're not a
believe.
part of the town, it makes it very difficult for
But
us.
the
to-
bylaw, I don't think the bylaw specifically requires it for site plan review.
Right, and where we don't have a required, or we don't have the ability to require the fire department to even do it. And I don't know if the conversation with them historically was like, hey, we have these projects that come in front of us, we'd really like your input. And they were like, yeah, we'd love to, or, yeah, sure, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Your process here isn't the final determination of when the fire department has a sign-off ability. Really, they have another ability to sign off when the building permit is actually issued.
Right.
And it seems like they are more responsive to that practice than they are your practice. So,
Okay.
I'm only bringing it up for discussion. I'd be happy to reach out to both of the chiefs and say,
Well, we've met with only moderate success in getting them to respond to us. So
Right.
perhaps that is the preferred way to go about it, that they respond, they put in their commentary
right,
when there's a
Well-
building permit.
So you're suggesting we apply the same practice, no response in 21 days means no, and then what's the point in having applicants provide us with a swept path analysis if they're not going to look at it?
I don't think I'm requesting that right now. What I would like to do is reach out to both of the chiefs and really have a sit-down conversation with them to say, is this something you still want to be a part of, or are we spinning our wheels for no reason? So why don't I have that conversation with both of them? They are, while we say they don't work for the town, they do work with the town. So I'd be happy to have that conversation with them. But,
Josh,
if they come
I'd
back.
like, I'm looking at kind of two scenarios, and we had one of them recently where the fire department did review the project, came back with issues. The applicant felt they had addressed them, and the fire department did not respond. So if you're going to have a conversation with them, I'd like to distinguish projects where 21 days has expired or otherwise they have no comments versus they had comments requiring changes. The applicant takes the position that they incorporated all the changes they requested and that they have not heard anything, because that, I think, is more of a challenge when there are just distinctive issues that have been raised. So I'd like
Sure.
you to talk to them about the process on both no response versus response. And that latter, it seems to me, we really need their cooperation to sign off on the plan if they have objected to the plan, to the sign off on the revised plan or something, even just a letter, an email to the planning board, something, so.
Understood. So let me start
Yes.
that discussion, and I can at least come back with some, helpful conversation with the planning board to just get an idea of their standpoint on, their availability to review it.
And I'm happy to join in that conversation if you'd like.
Yeah. Like I said, they don't work for the town, but they work
Right.
very well with the town.
So that
We
complicates matters.
understand, they're very short-staffed,
Yeah.
as are all the departments, so
Yep.
it's a challenge. We understand that. But at the same time, it's also difficult for us to continually have to ask an applicant to come back 2 weeks later, follow up. It makes it difficult on both sides.
Yeah, the applicant comes in here, sits down, waits for how many people before him. Then do you have another? Nope. Off for another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very frustrating on an applicant. It's very frustrating from your.
Well, we had a
Okay.
recommendation from a former fire official that you sit down with them and they'd be happy to work it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rather than email, which they acknowledge they don't have time to respond to.
Okay. Well, let me have the conversation.
Yeah, yeah. All right, moving along here. Item 3, project number 11-25, Scribbles Learning Center, 396 Onset Ave, site plan review. Okay. Is there multiple copies or just?
4 drawings, and I got 4 copies of each, one of which can go up on the easel.
Okay.
One over here, one for us, one for those guys,
Okay.
Sure.
something like that.
Just-
Yep.
Happens.
Eleven, 10.
11:10?
Nope, that's his site plan review.
That's fine, I got it.
That's the date.
It says that it's site plan review, and that's the 2 meetings.
I wonder what I'm looking at.
Yeah. Oh, we'll find out.
Okay, here, no.
Oops,
That goes back even further.
1028.
Well, I want to know about that, because that's the original date
Yeah,
without changes.
okay. You do? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let the record show that we're looking at drawings, sheet 1 of 1 dated July 7, 2025. Drawing number LE1 with a date entitled Site Plan Review, date of 11/10/2025. Fire truck template plan dated October 28, 2025, and a 4th drawing numbered LC1, C as in L as in lion, C as in Charlie, and the number 1, with the latest date titled Site Plan Review of 11/10/2025, as well as a letter dated November 10, 2025, on letterhead from Lockwood Architects. So, if you all want to state your names and spell them for our scrivener, and your professional, you're here in a professional capacity, you're the applicants, and, okay, so I will get you to get sworn in, but do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Bill Lockwood, LOCKWOOD.
And do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right.
Melissa Cordera, Cordeira.
Oh, push the button. Is the green light on?
Sorry, Melissa Cordera, Cordeira.
Mark Cordera, Cordeira.
My name is Mark Rizzoli, Rizoli. I represent Make Park Corporation, the property owner.
All right.
Okay.
Floor's yours.
We're in receipt of the Allen Majors letter of October 28th, and to respond to, sorry that we haven't got it back to everybody beforehand, but just getting through the issues. I don't know if you people, I assume, have copies of that letter. Am I
We do.
correct in that?
I believe I do, but I'm not sure about the other members. of the-
It is misidentified.
I don't get it. Oh, my goodness. This is an indication of the night. I'm done. Rookies. They're rookies. There we go. Let's try that again.
Try it again. So I repeat, we're in receipt of the letter from Allen Majors of October 28th. It's misidentified on the front page as being September 30th, which was their previous letter, which, being efficient, they have cribbed from the previous letters, some of the responses. In any case, Mr. Cordero makes several points, which we tried to address in order. Number one, Design Standards, Article 7, Section 26. There are various issues are addressed in that, and we will, and most all of them get brought up in the later numerically numbered questions. Specifically, parking, he asked that the dimensions of the parking spaces be identified on the plan, and we have done that on Plan LC1, which you see here. The overall depth of parking had already been identified on the plan. This, we've gone back and added in the depth of the striped parking spaces, which seems to be about 18 feet in all cases. The real reality is that you use the entire space, and whether it's striped at 18 feet or striped at 19 feet, you're going to park in the same place, and you have the same backing space. So we don't think we need to restripe the parking lot to 19 feet, but if we need an extra foot of paint, we can do that. But we respectfully request a waiver from literal compliance on those dimensions, because they're all existing. The landscaping, Article 1030, requires the use of a landscape architect for new projects or expansions. While this is technically a new project, since it's a change of use, it doesn't rise, we don't think it rises to the level of a new project per se.
I agree,
Okay,
just so you know.
okay.
The way the process is the laws at the time were at the time. They've changed since then. The project is supposed to come up to today's standards, not standards X number of years ago.
Understood.
Okay?
We're just requesting a waiver on the necessity for a landscape architect on the project. Number 4, landscape buffers. There is the landscape buffer on the south side of the property is about 15 feet currently. It's right over here. In theory, it should be 20 feet, or by statute, it should be 20 feet. And we don't think that particularly serves anybody any better than the 15 feet. And would again ask for a waiver on the thickness of that. The landscape buffers along the street. As you can see, there's not much property along there. It's in some cases, none at all. So there's no place to plant anything, much less anything of substance. And it's not a place I think we want to plant anything of substance because of the visibility of the necessary at that intersection. Finally, the board correctly noted last meeting that the site was dark, number 6 lighting. And that it is in fact dark. And it has been lighted by 3 pole-mounted lights that are maintained by NSTAR, owned by NSTAR.
Eversource.
What?
Eversource.
Eversource, I'm sorry. Yep. They have a repair order has been requested from them. They have agreed to repair those lights, but that has not happened yet. Additionally, we have proposing to put 2 new pole lights on the property to illuminate, and that's, we'll look on EC3.
LE3. Or LE1. Are you talking about the, here's the lighting right here.
We're proposing to put 2 new pole lights, one here, which provide illumination over the principal parking areas.
Could you point that again, please?
Sure. We're proposing 2 new pole lights, one here,
Okay,
another one here,
okay, thank you.
which will provide a spread over the 2 principal parking areas. The one on the southeast corner, or southwest corner, I'm sorry, over here is well covered by the existing utility pole light.
Which is not working at the moment, which?
This one is working. This one here is, provides a dull glow.
Yeah.
This one down here is not working at all. We believe that between the combination of the new lights being added, repair to the existing lights, that there'd be adequate and legal illumination of the parking areas. Number 7, drainage. The letter from Allen and Majors suggests that if we were to get a statement from an engineer that that the 4 catch basins that do exist are functioning in good order, that may satisfy the board. And we're not, we think that is probably fine. The need for a stormwater management statement, review or whatever is not required by the statute. Now, number 9, impervious cover. The impervious cover as it exists on the site right now is greater than what would be allowed under the bylaw. It would suggest that we remove from one place it says something like 1,000 square feet, another place it says something like 3,000 square feet. We are creating a play area in the rear of the property for the children, which will be playground surface. It'll be put down over the asphalt. It's about 2,800 square feet, 2,860 square feet about 800 of the square feet of that would be devoted to a tricycle riding area along the backside. Along the backside here. The other 2,000 square feet would be converted to playground mulch, which by its imposition on the site will reduce the runoff more than from the condition with the asphalt.
Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Lockwood.
Yeah.
The mulch is going on top of existing asphalt, or?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
But it's a much rougher surface than the asphalt, so it,
No, I understand. I just wanted to be clear that you're not going to tear up the asphalt.
it's not my asphalt, it's not their asphalt, it's actually his asphalt down there. So that would be our proposal.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Lockwood again.
Yes.
I believe you made a statement that. I believe you made a statement that the current condition is a non-conforming condition regarding impervious ground cover?
Correct.
Okay.
There is more impervious surface than would be otherwise allowed, yeah.
Okay, that's a concern, but okay. Thank you. It's a pre-existing condition, though.
It's
You're
definitely a
you're not exacerbating it,
No, we're reducing it.
but it is a non-compliance. Thank you.
Let's see. There was a comment that we correct an improper designation on the primary site plan from July, and you'll notice that there's we've struck through that, and we'll erase it from the record plan. Just a Scrivener's error. We have produced a swept path analysis plan. We have not submitted it to the fire department, but we'll be able to do, so we have not had any comment from them. And let's see, Conservation Commission has been resolved. So basically, we'd like to get direction from the board as to what they are willing to entertain for exemptions or waivers, and what you would like us to be doing. Because we'd like to get this project rolling and get these people in business.
Madam Chair, through you to the applicant. I understand that you can't control the lighting from Eversource. I'm asking for your opinion on the risk to the safety of the children that would be coming in there, particularly as we're in the winter season and it's dark when they're. How bad is it?
Right now, it is pretty dark. There's lights that aren't working. I got off the phone with them. I think I put in the initial, not complaint, but call to them on October 22nd. They said that they would have it done within 2 weeks. They closed it out for some odd reason. We went by with Mr. Lockwood about a week ago. They're still not working, so I called them today. So they put in another order to either, they said they replaced the lights and they're just not working, so they said that they're gonna go back in and maybe it's a problem with the sensors or, but from what I saw of the LED light that they did put in on the street, I mean, they're very bright. What's there now are like orange lights.
Right, yeah,
They're
the
very,
carbon
it's very
xenon
dark.
or whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna replace the lights on the outside of the building too. I think those like
Okay.
sconce type. But I wouldn't have it not be bright enough. That's
Great, no, that's my concern.
Yeah,
It's
no, I
beyond your
would
control.
never.
Madam Chair, through you to the planning office, Josh, would they be able to get a building permit, not a building permit, an occupancy permit, if the lighting isn't fixed? Or do we need to condition that? I mean, I agree, but we just,
No, I know, I
would that be
understand.
covered by some other board?
No, I think you're the review board that would cover that in your conditions.
Okay.
I don't think it would get covered at the building permit step.
Not
no.
building, I said
Or-
his occupancy permit is different than the building permit. So who would somebody, Board of Health review lighting or?
I think it's you guys.
Okay, so we just have to
Follow up.
work with you we understand that we're struggling with things outside of our control. But okay, so you're aware, we're all aware, it's important.
Absolutely. 100%.
We're addressing it.
Right, and I accept that you're trying to get it fixed. Those were two questions that I had. Thank you.
Tim?
Should we go waiver by waiver?
Well, we should come up with a concise list, I would think.
I'm not sure where to start.
The beginning. I said the beginning.
Well, I'm interested what the other boards have to say, other members have to say as well as Josh. I mean, the first one is, what is irrelevant in number one, design standards? I need to know what that is.
There are whole list of items within that 760 section, which we did go through kind of blow by blow during the last meeting. Some of them, well, I have them here, so could look at them.
While you're looking, just a question. When you say irrelevant, do you mean not applicable, or is that?
That's the meaning. That was my use of the word, yes.
Okay, it might have been better if he had said not applicable as opposed to irrelevant.
Irrelevant to this process, not in general.
That was my concern.
Yeah, no. Not applicable is more accurate, thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
Let's see here, come on, where are we? Okay, October 6th. Yeah, that's, okay.
Okay, number two,
Yeah.
did you want me to just read them as we go along?
Yeah.
Okay, next one, irrelevant, the stripes. How do you feel?
So it sounds like the concern is that, it looks to me, looking at the dimensioned site plan, the parking layout plan on this LC1, I know we've only got one copy, but it shows the widths here, and with the exception of, I'd say, 2 spaces over here, everything is in excess of the 9.5 feet that's required by the town. The shortcoming, aside from those 2 spots that are a little narrow, they're at 9.04 feet, is that the stripes don't extend the full 19 feet. Yeah, the length of the car.
Right.
But it's a question of whether there's adequate space behind to back up. So I'd have to, this would take a
And
little bit of thought.
If I might interject there.
Yeah.
The backing up distance of nominally 24 feet is predicated on double-loaded parking typically. We have single-loaded parking, and there is no curbing on the backside, so there's actually no restraint for anybody to backing distance. So they, in terms of the 18 feet or 19 feet of the length of the stripe, they're going to park in the same place.
Madam Chair, through you to the applicant supporting Mr. Corbett, you're not relaying out the parking lot. You're reusing existing spaces.
We're not proposing to.
So this is another pre-existing non-compliant.
Another pre-existing non-conforming
Right.
piece of stuff, yeah.
Right. This is
Stuff.
Sam? Keep going?
Landscaping is a nice waiver issue.
Say again?
Landscaping,
Yeah.
through you to the applicant. What's on the other 5 feet of that buffer?
Here?
Where you had 15 instead of 20, that's what you were looking for, right?
Yeah,
What's in that 5 feet on the other side,
paving.
paving from?
The abutting property?
No. Paving on this property. Is that what you're asking?
Well, going the other way, I saw the paving,
Going the other way, yard of the
Neighboring.
abutting property.
abutting property. Again, this is a pre-existing
Again, a
non-conforming.
pre-existing, non-conforming
Does
situation.
anybody ever inspect these places? Rhetorical.
so are we gonna go one by one waiving as yes or no? Or just the,
I don't know that we have to handle it that way, or we could, that would be a
Well, that's-
good way to do it, but the other way is just don't condition it, or however you'd like to go.
just getting guidance on
I-
what to do.
I'm struggling with, I understand that when you redevelop a site, that you could fix all the ills. But there's not that much redevelopment going on this site,
No. Correct.
which is a question that we have to struggle with. Ideally, our mission should be to fix all the ills when new projects come to us.
That was my concern originally. How much are we willing to go forward going backwards? I mean, what he just said is correct. How much are we willing to accept? And also setting that as a standard going further, future. There's a lot of non-conforming things here. How much is acceptable or not?
Well, do we get a sense that this property, this existing property, has been problematic in the neighborhood? I guess would be one question to ponder.
Well, that was a cut-through issue.
Well, and it
It
seems
won't
that
be.
that's been alleviated by putting the play area and a bunch of bollards or planters in the way. You know, this is, it seems to me that this has been a not bad contributor to the neighborhood
I agree
in the
100%.
past.
What we do sets precedents, as you were talking about the last issue. And this is a great site. It's a great improvement to the site. And I'm mainly concerned with us. What do we do with the site in the future? How much are we gonna allow to be non-conforming? How much are we gonna allow to be taken care of as it should be? And I'm not saying we should do a redo of the whole property. I understand it's existing, but there's a lot of conditions asked for here that I've never seen before. I've never seen the level of this. And granted, we haven't had a lot of redevelopment come before us, but, you know, they're gonna look backwards at us and say, ooh, you did this, you did this. I just wanna make sure the board's comfortable with what we end up doing.
Yep. I think that's a
Agreed.
perfectly logical thing to want to do. So I think, that being said, I'm sorry to take so long doing this, but I think that going through them one by one is, and get a comfort level from the board. I mean, we've looked at the quote-unquote irrelevancies and determined that they're really items that are not applicable. So, all right, so that.
So we eliminate the waiver or irrelevant and.
Right, so that's fine. The length of the stalls, it seems to me that if it's the length of the paint on the stripe, that if there's space for people to back out, I'd rather give that a pass because
agree.
it's already on the site.
Mm-hmm.
It has been functional, and I think that it would be very disruptive and to try and correct that.
Yep.
The landscaping, I think that in this instance right here, there's a constraint, given the proximity of the existing parking and the property line. And I think it's been filled in, and if I recall correctly, there's a bit of an elevation change there.
Quite a bit.
This goes uphill from the, so that helps with shielding the neighbor. You know, if this was some other use here and something a little bit more obnoxious, that I might think differently. But where it's just parking and it's been there forever, I'm inclined to say, okay.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
that's how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Just a question on the landscape buffer. What is the use?
Is that a residence?
Is that a residence?
It's a two-family
It's a residence.
residence.
Have they ever complained to the town about the bank and being able to overlook the parking lot or?
Not that I'm aware of.
Or to the landlord?
All right, so this is actually going to make a pre-existing condition better.
Well, these are existing trees, they just enumerated them.
Oh, they were there? Okay,
They're
they're
existing.
not new.
Yeah, because
Okay.
some of
Not
these
new.
are, these
Right.
two are off the property.
Oh, okay.
But this is just enumerating what's there.
Oh, okay, all right. It's not making it worse.
So let's keep going. I mean, there may be something that we want to see some change take
We
place.
talked about the light poles earlier. It's out of their purview to get them fixed from, they did add the two we talked about. Again, we can't make Eversource do whatever they have to do,
Right.
but we have to make sure it's safe.
Do you, how do you feel about the two new lights that are being added? I mean, Eversource, yeah, we've got to get them, or they've got to be gotten on board. What do you think about these
No,
two?
that's what I said last time we met. I said, this area is completely dark, and they've addressed that. So it's good.
Adding lights, although not doing the photometric analysis and all of that we usually require, but
Well,
the fact that there's some existing and they're going to add, I guess.
So Julie, there is actually a diagram on these of the two new lights. There are lines that show, I think it's graduated from 1/2 foot candle up to 2-foot candles.
Oh, okay.
So they're almost like topography lines.
Up to
showing-
5-foot candles, actually.
Up to what?
5-foot candles.
5 foot, oh, yes, I
Okay.
see.
There's-
So it goes
it's
half,
included in the
1,
back end of
2,
your
5.
packet.
Yeah. So are you comfortable with the, I mean, I think that that's a pretty good
Yeah.
location for those two new fixtures,
Yeah.
that they cover the bulk of the
Right.
parking.
Well, I agree. That's my comment last time. This whole area has no coverage at all.
Yeah.
They've addressed it.
Yep.
And it's out of their scope to tell Eversource what to do. I'd like to put a condition in that they notify us when it's done. I'm worried about security of the property and the kids.
Yeah, and they be maintained, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Sam.
Okay, the drainage is is a huge issue. It's a huge expense. It doesn't meet present zoning. How do you feel about waiving the removal of the 1,000 feet or so?
So this is with regard to the, drainage, sorry, here it is.
So, Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Cordero. Mr. Cordero, do you see flooding conditions resulting from this onto the roadway as a risk, or other stormwater concerns?
It is not a huge risk. We inspected the property, and there's no evidence that there's runoff going into the streets, so the town is protected from that concern. The gist of our comment, though, is really just to enlighten the board that the property that's being redeveloped is being maintained, quite frankly. While they don't require a stormwater management permit under the letter of the bylaw, we are simply seeking a statement of efficiency, or that it, quite frankly, that it just works, that it's continuing to work, that we can rely upon as, you know, they're the applicant, that they bear the burden to show that everything they're doing is going to work. We were simply suggesting that they get a statement from somebody qualified to put on the record that they've inspected it, that the catch basins are routinely maintained as they need to be from the landlord, and that they will continue to be maintained. But there's minimal risk of flooding. It's really to have the maintenance obligations on the record as part of the application.
One more question through you to the town planner. Regardless of whether we put a condition on the site plan review or not, are there inspections of catch basins and stormwater retention done by the town? Who's responsible for that?
That burden falls on the applicant. Historically, you've required a condition that says that maybe a report would be submitted to the Director of Municipal Maintenance, the Planning Department, or the Building Commissioner.
Okay.
I've seen it done actually all three ways.
All right, so we would need to condition it like we would on an HOA to maintain the stormwater management, catch basins. Okay,
I would guess also, Carl, that there's some agency that, if this is childcare, would pick up on that being problematic too. So there's another set of eyes on it that's
Are the inspections done?
tied to use.
you have licensing inspections, right?
I will as soon as I get everything
No,
finished.
no, but that's a requirement.
Oh, yes.
So you're
Yeah.
inspected by some state entity? Okay. I haven't had kids for a long time.
But with all due respect, I'm not sure review of the stormwater systems on site would fall under her childcare license.
Yeah, but if there's ponding in places on the site, that's gonna be.
Perhaps, maybe,
Depending on the day of
depending on the day of the
And
inspection.
the inspector, and
What the
yes.
conditions were, and the veracity of the inspector, perhaps.
Whoa.
Speaking of
rain.
rain.
So we'll see if it's ponding.
Like, the inspector is not out there today during the rain, guarantee that.
Certainly not
we
now.
just need to make
Yeah, yep,
stormwater
condition, yep.
catch basin.
Keep going.
Flood zone.
Oh, the flood zone, yeah.
I mean, flood zone's been crossed off. What does that mean?
No, they just moved the label.
Here's elevation 14 that runs like this.
Yeah,
Here it says flood zone X, which makes sense, because that's up from,
Right.
because here's 12. This is just, this label's in the wrong place.
Yeah, we'll correct that with the final plan.
okay. Going back to emergency vehicles and the fire department. I mean, they were okay with this one point. We're gonna require a letter from the fire department.
back to that question.
I know, we've talked about this time and time again.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can, after Josh meets with them, but I think
Yeah.
we can go back to sticking with the letter of the bylaw, which says if we don't hear from them within 21 days, they don't have a problem, as long as you submit the plan to them,
To you or to the fire department?
fire department.
Fire department.
Okay. They'll have it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do they have to go before conservation?
We have been there
Then,
and got a request for negative determination on a request for determination.
You did get a negative determination?
We got a negative determination before the last meeting, actually.
Yeah.
I
And
had-
Phil
I
doesn't
wrote
have
that- I wrote that.
has no further comment on that, so I think we're
Right.
fine on that.
Madam Chair, before you move off of it, could I just make one comment relative to the fire department concerns?
Yep.
You know, the timing issues aside, which I won't step into that. I do note that it is a pre-existing site, and there is a portion of the drive aisle that is only 18 feet wide, plus or minus. And the National Fire Code requires a 20-foot drive aisle. If the area that is going to become the playground still existed, they could technically use that as the circulation, but with the playground going in, the fire department would be forced to go through that necked-down area. So I just want to highlight for the board that there is an area that is not currently code compliant, should the department raise it. It's in the, I don't have a north arrow, I guess the upper left corner of the plan.
Yeah, right here.
Yes, right where Mr. Lockwood is
There,
pointing.
yeah.
It's 18 and a half, whereas 20 feet is the minimum required. And I also note that it is technically two-way travel through there. It's a very narrow two-way travel. And the particulars of the fire code state that the fire department will not cross the center line of a roadway. You know, roadway is not a street, it's not a named road, it can be a driveway, it can be an internal access aisle of a parking lot like this, that they're supposed to be able to make the maneuver without coming into opposing traffic. So I just highlight that that's a potential concern.
Well,
It's not,
we
it's not
can let,
potential.
we can let them comment on it, and if they don't approve it, you'll have to revise the plan. I mean, that,
May-
And we have to
or
make
we
a
could make them
determination.
revise the plan. Normally, we would not make them revise the plan until we heard from the fire
Right.
department. We, notwithstanding your advice, and we would advise the applicant, well, here's a concern, and we're pretty sure the fire department is gonna have it, but we would wait for the fire department before we told them to fix the plan, generally.
That would be reasonable. The fire department is what's called the authority having jurisdiction, the AHJ, written all over the code.
Right.
They can accept lesser requirements if they so choose, if they believe there's adequate firefighting methods, emergency response methods available to them. But there are minimum standards, and this one doesn't meet that.
So we could note that and condition it that the fire department has to accept it, or we could, generally, we don't try and redesign to meet,
Safety.
to guess what their requirement is gonna be. And in advance of not hearing from them, I think it would be a mistake to try and guess what they're gonna ask for. I'm looking for you to guide me.
Sure, okay. It is very difficult to guess what they're willing to accept. But I guess I would err on the side of caution that we know from practical experience it doesn't meet the code. And that should you approve it as being currently non-compliant, I would make certain that you cite that explicitly, and that you have to defer that matter to the fire department. It's tough. It's a tough position to be in, given their lack of response.
Okay.
But my concern is obviously the nature of this use as a childcare facility. The first on our list was making sure the safety measures were in place.
Right. Can you redesign around this requirement? Get a 20-foot turn and make it one-way traffic?
Not, well, we would have to be adding pavement, which is,
You don't want more pavement.
But we don't want the fire department to not be able
Yeah,
to.
but
Same
in the case of an emergency, in which, once the fire department is in fact needed, they can certainly,
We can't make that ruling, as we were advised.
well, I was about to say, sir, that there aren't any curbs to, or any other obstructions to them actually going on the grass and getting to where they need to be.
If I may, the fire department does, any fire department, they do what they have to do their jobs. And they take it upon themselves to do them as well as they can, which goes over curbs, through cars. You've seen the picture of the hoses through the car at the fire hydrant. The reality is, though, my approach to it is, we need to do our jobs to not force them to go outside of their boundaries. They have a bigger mission.
Yep,
So
understood.
while Mr. Lockwood, what he's saying is 100% correct, if there's opportunities to not force that action, that's what I'd suggest.
So, one more question. Rather than making it pavement, could you make it gravel, which would be pervious? But would that meet the fire department's letter?
It could.
What, your opinion?
So gravel base, as long as it's plowed, maintained, compactable, and bears the weight of the fire apparatus, would meet their standards.
Bearing the weight
In addition to other opportunities. Mhm. Yeah. I would argue, I'm not redesigning on the fly, but, in order to make that area minimally code compliant, I would argue that you would have to lose a couple of spaces in order to do it. So the notion of increasing impervious might be a little misnomer, because you could remove some parking spaces to make the drive aisle a little bit bigger, but you would probably actually end up with a net deduction in impervious. Just looking at it very quickly, and I'm not looking at the current plans the board has.
I'm curious, what's the height of the canopy, the underside of the canopy above the pavement?
I'm going to say it's 11 feet.
What's the height of that fire truck?
Well, we're not counting on the fire truck going into the.
No, I'm just thinking that, was that their route going through that?
Oh, I don't think the fire truck was going to get underneath there anyway.
So
there's a
it may
space
well be
behind
that the fire truck was going around anyway, because
Yes.
they couldn't get under the canopy. So, anyway, just, I was
Yeah,
curious.
they,
That doesn't solve anything, but I was just curious.
I respect Phil's opinion, but we're not the department that decides what's good, what's wrong, what's compliant, what's not. I mean, we can put a condition in, but that's all we should do, in my opinion. We shouldn't go changing the plan,
Yeah, no,
whatever.
Yeah.
I think,
But we know it's not compliant.
I know, but it's not our job to fix
well,
it.
and we can't approve or deny this. It's about conditioning it.
Right.
And we can condition it to say that it's got to be fire department approved.
Yep.
And
I just
that
don't
would be
wanna-
part of getting a building permit anyway to.
We've been put in this position, but I don't think we should go there and make them compliant. It's not our job.
No, it's not.
You condition it, let the professionals do it, they could say, we don't like it, do something else.
Yeah.
I would rather do nothing than try to do anything.
All right, well, let's see if we hear from them. If you
Yeah.
get the plan over, I mean, do you think we can close this today, or you're not gonna keep it open waiting for the fire department, are you?
I don't think we should. I personally don't. I mean, I don't know what the board feels, but,
I think we should close it.
well, do you have any others that you want to?
I'm happy
Discuss-
now.
Okay,
I was very confused in starting off.
super happy.
So,
All right.
I'm nothing against you guys, I just read this and went, wow,
Whoa.
this is a lot of stuff that we don't have normally.
I'm happy.
You happy?
Oh, if Mike's happy, all's right with the world.
That'll be nice.
I'm content.
Okay.
I do think that the fire department issue is an issue. It's a challenge. Our site plan review process has different requirements than the zoning bylaw, and that is what we are doing. So, but I'm totally in favor of the mission of these folks. So I think we condition it absolutely on the fire department's analysis anyway, eyes on the plan. And otherwise, it is what it is, I guess.
Okay. Members of the public, anybody wishing to speak on this project?
Madam Chair, may I? I've been
Yes.
diligently taking notes as you've been discussing the project. I just haven't heard you make any stance on the requirement of a landscape plan stamped by a landscape architect.
Which is site plan review requirement.
Yeah, here's what we've got.
It sounds like the board is coming to some type of conclusion, and I just want to make sure these items are covered before you move on.
Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Farady, I apologize, I don't have the bylaws open in front of me. I'm pretty sure the requirement for the stamped plan certainly applies to special permit. Does the bylaw specifically say we need a stamped plan for site plan review? It was, again, a thing that we've always asked for. I'm trying to see if there's a legal requirement.
I believe you have it as requiring a waiver. Hold on, let me.
Again, site plan review being very different than special permit.
Under Article 10, landscaping, a landscape plan shall be submitted in conjunction with any other submittal requirements for a special permit, site plan review, or building permit.
It says a landscape plan, we have one. Does it say it has to be stamped?
Board or official to whom the plan is submitted shall be responsible for determining acceptable landscape standards for new projects or expansion projects of 5,000 square feet of non-residential development or more than 3 family dwelling units. The landscape plan shall be prepared by a registered landscape architect.
More
So
than 5,000 square feet?
for new projects or expansions exceeding 5,000 square feet, correct?
So would that 5,000 square feet apply to the area of land that is being landscaped?
Well, this is
or
a
to the
new,
building?
it's a new project, so it doesn't, so that's what catches it. But
It almost sounds like you guys are on the side of not requiring one. I mean, when we look at the landscaping itself, it looks like there's some material being added along the roadway, some within the center island of the parking, correct?
I added that.
Yeah, that's actually been put there in response to your
to
suggestion.
keep the little guys from.
Done,
Yeah.
it's already done, go look
Yep,
at it, it
yeah.
looks good.
14 privet hedge shrubs have been installed. Sands Landscape Architect.
So
And-
just pointing it out as it is a requirement.
So,
As you're
okay, that
going through the
that was my
waivers,
question.
correct?
Is it, it is a requirement?
Oops.
It would appear to be a requirement like many of the other requirements. Be it a buffer,
What I was referring to earlier.
be it a space.
So, site plan review, we can only condition it, so we could, are you're wanting it?
We could condition that it's got to get a stamp. But that, and then if it
We could.
changed, that they'd have to bring it back, and so then you wouldn't necessarily want to close the public hearing,
Got it.
or it's, you know me, I'm like, if every I isn't dotted and T isn't crossed, but I'm trying to become a more,
We certainly would require a maintenance plan of both what's existing and what's been installed. So it's,
Yeah, there's existing landscaping already in place. It's
That's
been
right. And much of the rest of it is asphalt,
a
so.
landscaped site. It's not like it's all brand new. Finished grading, putting in topsoil, hoping that things.
What I said
grow.
earlier, how far are you willing to go?
Yeah,
That's my initial concern.
Mhm.
So how far are you willing to go, Madam Chair?
well, I know what my vote is, that I think that this has been a well-maintained and fully developed site. There have been some additions made that are consistent with our request.
And I don't think they want to have a crappy-looking site.
No, I don't think so. That's my, my read on the situation.
What would you accept for a motion?
all we need to do is
To
close
just
the
close
public.
the hearing, yeah, I'm trying to think, is there anything else that,
Well, we
Yeah.
should just discuss broadly any conditions. I mean, we've discussed, they're gonna have to get a fire department. I'm sorry, so our motion is just to close the public hearing, but I think broadly we should make them aware of the conditions, which is the fire department, maintenance of the landscape, maintenance of the stormwater system. Should we condition them to get an inspection and a statement of it? How important, Mr. Cordero, is an inspection of the current system?
I find them very important on older sites.
Okay, so we could,
I
we
would
could
recommend
require
you
that.
consider that
require that.
condition.
yeah, I think that's an appropriate thing to do.
And it's no statement on the landlord, it's just sort of
No.
universally when we have the older sites that went in with different standards.
Absolutely. You never know if there are roots growing in drain lines that can back up. Yeah.
So, we could,
We could close the hearing and we could,
but I'm just trying to signal the conditions that we're gonna impose, so that before we close the hearing, if they say, oh my God, we're not gonna do that, or something, we can have it on the record, but I haven't seen anybody freak out yet.
Not yet.
and we'll put the same offer out there. There's nobody in the audience from the general public talking about this project, but we'll put the offer out there that if anybody wants to offer or submit their thoughts on conditions.
Or
that need to
if,
be-
if you guys wanna put your flavor on what you think the conditions are, you could send wording in and we'll
We'll consider it.
consider it. But I think we went through, you've got to get the fire department. Some kind of, I don't know what kind of condition around Eversource we can put, but we should at least say you're going to continue to aggressively pursue resolving that issue. And-
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure they want the lighting.
We
No,
want the
no, I'm
light.
I'm just trying to think of what kind of condition, I can't think.
Well, and I
we've-
think that all the lighting has to be updated for Eversource, but operational before any occupancy. I mean, the building department may or may not focus on that, but I think we need to make sure we include that, so the building department's aware of it.
Okay, so, you want to
I'm
close the
happy.
public hearing?
I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
Any more discussion? I mean, we've kind of discussed this to the end.
Mm-hmm.
All right, all in favor?
Mike Baptiste, aye.
Sam Corbett, aye.
Carl Schultz, aye.
Julie Marie and I,
And chair votes aye.
And we have 60 days to.
We have 60 days to put the conditions
But
together.
with
Understood.
the holidays, we'll get it done before Christmas, for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna miss you guys.
We'll come visit you.
You please do.
Nobody here has kids.
Oh, Mr. Madden left his plans behind.
Yep.
I said Bill left his plans behind, Mr. Madden.
I borrowed his easel.
Yeah. You want those?
I think,
You have a copy, right, Josh, for the file?
No, I'll keep one of those
Okay,
copies.
we'll keep
Sam
one.
has given it to me, thank you. I
we'll
got
keep
one.
one.
So for site plan, do we have to sign plans like the Mylars? No, we don't have to do Mylars and
No Mylar requirement
for site plan review? Do they have to file this, record this with the registry?
I don't think so. I think historically it's only been the decision.
Well, because
of
there's
the-
no law on site plan review, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think historically we've only required the decision be recorded, and then the decision makes direct reference to the plan set.
But the registry wouldn't know what to do with it, right?
Right, it's a remodel.
Yeah, I don't know how the registry, I mean, I'm sure they would record the plan set in addition
Well, it'd
to
have to
the
be
decision.
certified too. Lot lines and all that, there's levels of certification, so generally we don't see it, we don't see them in
Right.
title.
For site plan, yeah, I didn't think.
Okay, moving right along here. Public hearings. Project number 14-25, Water Whiz, 3031 Cranberry Highway. Yes. Yep.
Hey, good evening, how are you? Good.
Is this it? Yeah. This is,
That's correct, Carl.
it's not site, yes, site plan review. Do we need to vote to open the public hearing? Yes. That's what I thought. Okay. So do I read this in before voting?
Thank you.
So I gave the abbreviated version of the notice of public hearing a moment ago. I'll give you the full version now. Notice of public hearing, the Wareham Planning Board will hold a public hearing on November 10, 2025 at 6 PM in room 520 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Massachusetts, 02571, to consider petition number 14-25 for a site plan review from the requirements of Article 15, Section 1554 of the Wareham zoning bylaws to 3031 Cranberry Highway LLC, care of C. Bow Acres, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Esquire of 1543 Fall River Avenue, Suite 1, Seekonk, Massachusetts, proposing expansion and reconfiguration of an existing parking lot located at 3031 Cranberry Highway, Wareham, Massachusetts. Assessors Map 12, lots LC 36, LC 35, LC 11, LC 10/B in the SC zoning district. Motion to, SC,
CS.
Oh, CS.
yeah. No, it says SC here. CS,
This is the CS zoning district, commercial strip?
commercial strip.
Cranberry Highway, East Wareham, yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't recognize the
Yeah,
SC zoning district.
Strip commercial.
If that was a mistake my young associate make, I'd be happy to punish him tomorrow.
No, I just
No,
want to
I-
make, I just
No,
want to
I
make
think-
sure that
think in our bylaw, it's listed as CS, so that all of the commercial zoning districts clump together. Commercial strip. So I need a motion to open the public hearing.
I move that we open public hearing
1425.
1425 Water Whiz 3031 Cranberry Highway as read by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Mike Baptiste, aye.
Sam Corbett,
Julie
aye.
and I.
Carl Schultz, aye.
We gotta get it.
And chair votes aye. Yeah, the order's all.
Yep.
Okay, open public hearing. And could you please state your names and spell them for our scrivener?
Taylor Dowdy, D-O-W-D-Y, professional engineer.
David Darling, D-A-R-L-I-N-G, owner of Waterways.
Good evening. Eric Brainsky, that's Eric with a C, B-R-A-I-N-S-K-Y. Attorney.
And, okay, so I'm going to have the two of you raise your right hand.
Swear the attorney's in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do.
Thank you. All professionals is how we were instructed.
Gotcha. Not a problem. Yes, Mr. Chairman, check that. Madam Chairwoman, members of the board, my name is Eric Brainsky. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Brainsky Levinson, located in Seekonk, Massachusetts, at the address as listed by your chairperson. This is the site plan review for the parking lot that is adjacent to Waterways, which, as the board's probably well aware, the whole town's probably well aware, has been an issue for quite some time in terms of traffic, internal circulation, et cetera. My client, Mr. Darling, through his entities, took ownership of the Waterways site and that parking lot 2022, 3 years ago. Since that time frame, well, beginning when he first took ownership of the site, we met with basically like a communal board, members of the Board of Selectmen, zoning, building, the former planner. Josh, I don't know if you were here yet at that time.
I think I came halfway through.
Yep, and members of the Conservation Commission, Public Works, Police, Fire, et cetera, who all expressed their dismay as to how this site was operating for a lot of years. And my client wants to improve that and improve things out on Cranberry Highway. Obviously, it's a difficult site. It's been here and under operation for quite some time. It is a use that is permitted by right under your zoning ordinance within the CS zoning district. Let me give you a little bit of background as to what my client has done before getting to you folks here this evening. If, Taylor, maybe you can go to the overall site that shows the adjacent parcel? Sure. Thank you. And I'm just going to give you an overview and then hand it over to the engineer to go over the specifics. Thank you, Taylor. Don't rip it. The one showing the lot lines, Taylor. So, in determining whether or not to, or how to reconfigure this parking lot to make it most usable, there were... Yep, I'm gonna get you, yep, that's the one, Taylor. What sheet number is that?
V100.
V100. So, that is existing conditions?
This is existing conditions, yes.
Yep.
It's
V,
probably
V is it Victor? Victor.
Good one.
So, what you have in front of you is the existing conditions on this site. For quite some time, it's been a bit of a free-for-all out there with folks parking all over the parking lot, kind of going down to the east along the railroad tracks to the area adjacent to the wetland to the east, and just kind of haphazardly parking wherever they could fit people. After conferring with the town and trying to get a handle on what the major issues were here, we wanted to maximize the parking out there and make it such that we didn't have to utilize this area that is, whoever's moving the scroll, the aerial photo there, it's down to the right of where the pointer is. there's what we've kind of called the horseshoe, is that area that appears to be dry, that's just below, to the southeast of where that pointer is. Yep, right there. So what my client did was we put our heads together, and there is a wetland to the west of that that is existing. My client determined to fill that wetland and replicate on the site that's just to the east of it. And that is exactly what we put before the Concom. And my client purchased and has since closed on a piece of property from the adjacent property owner that gave us the land and the area we needed to replicate the wetlands that we were going to fill. So we proceeded as required by your bylaws to the Conservation Commission. We were before the commission for several months. Was peer review, drainage, the replication to make sure it complies with the Wetland Protection Act, et cetera. And we procured an order of conditions, I would say 7-8 months ago, Taylor, in that ballpark?
May 24.
May of 24? Yeah. Oh, boy, it's been that long. Some time ago, and we have that order of conditions. So our next step was to proceed before this board. There was some back and forth over some time, whether we proceeded to zoning versus planning. We had to make some changes to the plan to make sure that we complied with parking, landscape, setbacks, that sort of thing. And Taylor Dowdy here from BSC has developed a new plan, which if we could pull up the proposed conditions, and we'll tell them what the sheet number is, Taylor.
One question, Madam Chair, through you to the town planner. What version of the bylaws does this apply to?
Your current version.
Why? This plan was submitted in 22, 23?
No, this plan was submitted 2 months ago.
Wait, the order of conditions you said was granted in 24, so that's the plan.
That really has nothing to do with this plan.
Well, I'm asking you for determination
Yeah.
on what version of the bylaws we need to be reviewing.
You would be reviewing your current version of the bylaw. The application to the Conservation Commission would have no effect on any
Except the plan.
implication of zoning freezes or anything like that, or previous versions of the bylaw.
When
Okay.
was the application for this submitted to the planning board?
2 months ago. Yeah. Yeah. And just so the order of conditions that was issued by the Conservation Commission, let's say it very well could have been a year ago or so. So those have a 3-year lifespan. And I think there was a executive order issued by Maura Healy that gave it an additional 2 years as well. So they're working on a 5-year approval.
Okay. All right, so we're going to look at the April, when did this came in before town meeting, so just want to make sure I look at the right version of the
Yeah,
bylaws.
no, prior to town meeting, and I think there would be some question of whether those changes would be in effect either right now anyway.
It doesn't matter.
No, your current version of the bylaw, the
So
one that we
October
have,
24, 2023?
correct.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was, thank you, Josh and Mr. Corbett. That's helpful to clear that up as well. Mr.
I got you.
Schultz.
Mr. Schultz. As they say, we've been called worse, right? So now we're on page C101. And this is the plan for what is proposed. And it calls for the
So the father walks in.
redevelopment of the parking lot for
290 paved parking spaces.
290 paved parking spaces. There is a landscape plan that is fully compliant with your bylaws. That was one of the back and forth things we had to do with the building inspector. And the plan, as we have it, complies with zoning for the parking lot and all of your, what I would say, your planning rules and regulations governing site plan review. The one
So
thing before.
we have a landscape plan in here?
You do.
And which sheet is that?
That is sheet, I have it right here too.
Oh, my question's gonna be, is it stamped by a landscape architect?
One can hope. Based on the last hearing.
Yes, I just
I'll
wanna,
have to get you the answer to that question.
all right, good. So that's an open question, let's resolve it somewhere.
Open question.
L101.
Carl, there's no stamp on any of these drawings, which seems
Oh, so-
appropriate to me,
Okay,
that
so,
they're not stamped yet.
okay, so we'll need all stamped drawings before we're done.
Absolutely.
No problem.
Very well. So one item I wanted to bring to the board's attention, it is my client's intention to merge this lot once with the adjacent lot, which is where the actual park is located, following site plan review approval. The reason you don't have a Form A plan or A&R plan in front of you right now is part of that property is registered land in land court. So we can't merge registered land to recorded land. So we've petitioned the land court to pull it out of registered land. It's up there. We're doing our best to facilitate things. Once that's done, it would be our intention to merge everything, and that would help bring the, what I'll call the Water Whiz property where the park is, into further conformance with the zoning bylaws. Everybody knows that park's been there for 40 some odd years or whatever it's been, and this would help it with just about every facet of zoning. So that's kind of the 10,000 foot view on that and the history. I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Dowdy, who's the registered professional engineer who designed this, and you could pepper him with every single question you wish. And if you want to ask me any questions before that, I'd be happy to answer.
Okay, again, my name is Taylor Dowdy with BSC Group, licensed professional engineer. When we first showed up to work on the site with David, this is basically, we're looking at a gravel parking lot that the staff at WaterWiz was doing a fairly good job of managing the parking situation. And that goes without saying that obviously the town has voiced some complaints, displeasure, whatever you want to call it, over the years. And so we kind of took a holistic view of, all right, let's see if we can take this gravel lot and the vacant lot next door and see if we can improve the parking situation.
Just a question, are you currently using Tractor Supply for parking, or did that
I will
stop?
get to that.
Okay,
Yes.
great, good, yeah, so that's a,
That's one of my 7 questions.
yeah, okay.
So with the main entrance currently pulls in right here, the main entrance is down here at the bottom. Our whole goal on this was to get traffic off of Cranberry Highway and put it into the park. So instead of coming in right here at this drop-off zone, we're going to this entrance, and now we have a queue length all the way around the parking lot that the management of WaterWiz is going to do a good job. They'll have flag people out there to direct traffic, probably some temporary signage, if I'm not mistaken. And they're going to direct traffic to queue within this lot so that they can do their drop-off, and then whoever the driver is can either go look for a spot within the lot at the management's direction, or they could potentially go off-site at Tractor Supply, for example, and go park down the street, which does have a connection in the backside of WaterWiz. So that off-site parking technically is still within 300 feet. It's very close to the WaterWiz lot. So like Attorney Bransky said, there was an old wetland here on the gravel lot that is, Josh can probably testify this if you remember that hearing from a year and a half ago, that didn't have much value to it at all. It was full of trash. Our wetland scientist basically did an evaluation of it and in no uncertain terms said this wetland is not providing any ecological value. And so we were able to get the commission to agree that we could fill that, continue the parking lot, and then we're expanding by about 6,300 square feet, the wetland right here. And so that automatically increases the size of the wetland more importantly, increases the size of the buffer zone, which is a good feature to protect any future development that might occur. So, good story here, long queue lines, 290 spaces in addition to you have over 200 at Tractor Supply, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a significant amount of parking overall available on site. I think a lot of the issues that were seen in 2022 when Mr. Darling first took ownership was the fact that it was a hot summer, if I'm not mistaken. Everyone showed up during the reconstruction of Cranberry Highway. So it was a combination of summer traffic, reconstruction of Cranberry Highway, and the fact that everyone wanted to get some relief from the heat, basically, and go to the water park. So I think that's what was the genesis of the meetings that took place a year or two ago. And we really feel like, just the simple fact that we have an enormous queue line is going to do a lot of good to get cars off Cranberry Highway.
How do you exit?
The existing driveway here. Yes, sir, there's two.
Have you purchased Wendy's?
We own Wendy's.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you have agreement with Tractor Supply? I'm sorry.
We now own Tractor Supply. We own Tractor Supply. Not the business, the property.
Okay. Do you own anything beyond that?
No, but we have an agreement with,
Mike's not on. I'm sorry.
we have an agreement with Ocean State Job Lot in that plaza to utilize, and it's been there for years, to
Yeah,
utilize.
I
a
just
number
want to
of
make
spaces.
sure it's on record.
Yep, we do.
I'm done for now.
Good for you. Good question. No, I meant good. You did a good job. You asked all my questions.
Okay.
Can you point out, from the mic, can you point out what the divided highway, where the dividers are? Like when you're entering and exiting, like if I'm coming to the site from the Cape,
Mm-hmm.
how, am I going down and doing a U-turn in front of Rain?
You do. You have to go down and make a U-turn in front of Rain.
In front of Rain.
That's
Okay,
correct.
so, and when cars are leaving the site, they've got to go east.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, and go to the next, which is Main Ave? The lights
Yes, Main
By-
is correct.
by
Yes.
Harbor Freight,
Correct.
right there. So, one way in, one way out.
That's a vast improvement.
Yeah, we're closing off one of the existing ins and outs that is there currently. We're blocking that off and concreting it.
That was basically the concern of the fire, EMS, and police,
Just,
who all sent letters for us to deny this last year.
I didn't hear you, sir.
Police, law enforcement, EMS sent a letter to the board not to approve this last year.
Based on the prior design.
Yep. Based on everything that was there was a disaster. This is vast improvement.
And to be clear, this is not a question, we can't not approve this.
I agree.
No, I just want to be clear. This is just. I'm talking into the mic, I'm sorry.
I like this board.
He keeps us honest.
Okay, so
Oz.
we just have to condition this, so, okay. So I don't understand why, who were those letters sent to? They didn't come to the planning board.
I was Board of Selectmen.
When you said they came to, okay,
Came to the Board of Selectmen.
okay.
And it was approved.
No, they didn't come to us, that's why I was
Hey, the
confused.
letters went to everybody else.
in the name of understanding this project better, can you explain to us what changes were made to this proposal from the previous one?
The previous.
Even, 30,000 foot view kind of description of what the changes were.
So I just want to make sure we're talking about the same thing. When you say previous proposal, are you talking about like the prior owner's plan?
No,
I think the confusion here is that they were up for an entertainment license And there were concerns made by these different parties to the select board.
And
Yeah.
I'm only hearing them third hand.
I-
I'm just curious.
Which is,
The major complaints were based off of the existing property, and the plan that's submitted today addresses almost entirely the concerns that were made.
so, but that goes back to my earlier question, Madam Chair. There was no previous plan which established
That's correct.
a zoning date for an earlier set of bylaws.
Okay, yeah,
Correct.
right, to
So
determine the
there's not been
bylaws.
anybody who's reviewed any plans. This hasn't gone to the ZBA. You may have put plans like this in front of other boards. Certainly Concom looked at a plan, but there were no site plans presented to any board.
Certainly not to us. So
No,
this isn't.
Right, and
this
not
is
to the ZBA.
initial-
The only other board
initial
would have,
submission was 2 months ago.
the only other board would have been,
Concom.
no, zoning for a site review.
Can I take a shot at clarifying
Okay.
for everybody? Thank you for reminding me, Josh. So, upon purchasing the property, my client, before coming to this board, before coming to Concom, with the existing conditions, went to the Board of Selectmen and said, we'd like to get a liquor license. Part of that submission, you have to submit a site plan. We basically just took whatever was on file and submitted it, which was very, very, well, it wasn't what you're looking at now. We'll just put it that way. Needless to say, that didn't go very well at Board of Selectmen. We learned there that this had never gotten site plan review. There'd been no plan approved by the town. And it was at that hearing that the suggestion was made, why don't we have this meeting amongst all the department heads and put this thing on a trajectory to get a plan in front of whatever board it needs and get the traffic conditions, which was exacerbated by the state's work out there. So you're absolutely right. There was never a plan reviewed, and they said this needs to get before, whether it's ZBA or the planning board, whatever it may be. That's when we started design, had to go to Concom first. Now we're here.
Yep, got it.
Hopefully
Okay.
that clears it up.
Madam Chair, one more question through you to the planner.
Yes.
Do we have a letter of denial from Mr. Turner? Did that prompt this?
Yeah, that should be included with your application.
Okay, I haven't reviewed the application yet, so.
Well, and Carl, I think that was what took this to, no, never mind.
Yeah, and I know that there was a little discussion earlier about maybe why it was in front of Concom so early compared to you guys. This, I'll point it out here. This area here is what's called a isolated vegetated wetland, meaning that it has no hydrologic connection to anything. It is not jurisdictional under the State Wetland Protection Act, but it is jurisdictional under our bylaw. And as you can see where it falls in the layout of the proposed parking, if they didn't get an approval by Concom, there is no plan to present.
It's not, yeah,
Right,
right. There's
it
no
makes
point in
no
taking it
sense.
further,
Right,
right.
it's impossible.
You gotta get
Right.
past that hurdle first.
They have satisfied Concom. I think actually they were required to do a 1.5 to 1 ratio replication, so Concom sees this as a very good project.
Okay.
Just for that history.
Yeah.
I just had a couple of questions.
Yeah.
As part of this, do we have a lighting plan? And I apologize, I'm not there tonight to see all the plans. Do we have a lighting plan? Seems to me this calls out for updated lighting, given what's been there, what exists right now.
PH1B2.
Each one, you have it on the back. Yes, I think you have it. Actually, Thomas. Okay, thank you. You have it off already. Yep.
Great.
Madam Chair, while you're looking, can I ask further questions?
Go ahead.
On the plan we have here, what are these things at the end of each parking area?
Landscaping islands?
Yes, so those,
Some strange shape
May I approach?
it's the end of each file.
Oh, there we go, okay.
Are these permanent? What are
Those
they?
are permanent landscape islands.
Okay. How are you gonna mark this? The lines?
Just pavement striping.
Okay.
This is some of it's gravel and some of it's asphalt.
Currently, some is,
Oh, I know the plan.
the plan is all pavement.
Oh, then what is the crosshatch?
That's going to be porous pavement up at the front to allow for additional infiltration of stormwater.
Okay, but it's not gravel.
It's not gravel.
So it sounds like you also have a stormwater management plan, which was my other question,
Yes,
given
that-
it.
sorry, yes.
So
that-
much asphalt.
We do have a stormwater management plan that was approved by conservation.
Yeah. This will have to get peer reviewed by Mr. Cordero for our input.
Totally
Correct.
acceptable and expected.
There is a note that says landscaped areas, pointing to some of the islands. Pointing
Yeah,
to
that's what
one-
those that's what Sam was asking about. What are these squares or rectangles? They're not square. I know what a square is. They're not squares.
Yeah, there's the actual
Yeah,
landscape plan.
okay, all right.
Um,
So the islands are not just striped? It's not?
Sorry, Jen, I can't hear you.
It's landscaped area completely. It's not asphalt.
Okay. Sorry.
No problem.
Take it with you.
Madam Chair, a question through you to Mr. Cordero. Did you review these plans for Concom?
No,
So why weren't these peer reviewed for Concom?
I can't answer that.
No, I'm now, excuse me, through to Mr. Faraday, who was our conservation director at the time.
So we weren't essentially looking, well, I guess we did look at the parking. I don't believe we had them peer reviewed. I don't think so.
Okay, so all right, this will be our first peer review then as well.
That's correct. Yeah, I don't think we had it peer reviewed.
I don't remember, Josh,
No.
honestly.
Has a 53G account been populated? No.
I imagine not. Sonia hasn't asked you for a W-9 or?
Not yet.
No, okay, so no, it hasn't been funded yet.
So it seems that that's the next step, is fund the 53G and have Phil do his magic.
And then again, Madam Chair, through you to the planner, what are we being asked, other than looking at the plan? Are there some specific asks for any of the boards, other than just giving it our thoughts and?
No, I think this is a site plan review for the construction of the parking lot.
Yeah, normally I wouldn't
Yeah,
ask that question, but given how
but,
emotional, let's say, the
Well, that was
history of this site has been, are there considerations we should be thinking about?
no, and I'll expand on what they were saying initially. I think all this started from a prior approval prior to Mr. Darling owning the property. In that approval, it said when construction of Cranberry Highway was complete, the applicant should come back for site plan review to address the parking issue. And then I think it was really exacerbated by 22 or 23 was a hot summer, and I think every weekend was sunny. So with construction going on, and probably for you, great turnout at the park, there were concerns on the traffic flow, the parking, and the congestion along Cranberry Highway.
So there's no, other than us doing normal site plan review, there's no other considerations that we should be concerned about?
So under site plan review, we send the project out to the various boards. We have not heard any additional concerns that need to be addressed.
And we already have a order of conditions from Concom.
That is correct.
All right. No, I just meant, given the history, I didn't
Yep.
know if there was any,
No, and from my involvement in the history and, understanding the letters that were sent, this plan, I would say, adequately addresses the concerns that were raised.
I had another question. So you'll have, when you're finished, looks like 290 paved parking spaces. What was and I know it was always kind of willy-nilly over there. What was the capacity before? Is this also going to allow you to, and I don't know what your capacity in the water park is, if based on the parking or just other regulations, state regulations, will this allow you to, were there ever restrictions on how many people you could have in the park at one time? And will this parking allow you to expand those restrictions? Or, I mean, what, besides making it obviously much safer, easier, more parking spaces, what do you anticipate your capacity, how do you think your capacity for the park itself will be affected?
before answering,
What's your
just,
plans?
just to build on that question, if this were a restaurant, for example, the parking number of spaces would be determined based on the seating capacity of the restaurant, or required. I think the question is, how is the capacity for parking driven by the use? How is it calculated?
So there's kind of two questions going on about the park's capacity is one question, and that's more of a building code question, versus how many parking spaces you need per person. So I'll let Taylor address the second half of that. The first half is a question that Mr. Turner and others asked, the building code question. And it took a lot of research, and the answer is there is no capacity. There is no state law, building code regulation, or otherwise that governs the open air park capacity. The individual rides that have covered structures or bathrooms or whatever it may be within the park have their individual capacities. But because it's an open air park, for the purposes of building code, there is no capacity issues. Your zoning bylaw requires X amount of parking spaces per patron, and it's been designed to maximize that with the patronage that we've had pretty much since we've gotten there. And Taylor, maybe you could address that part.
Yeah, I think based on discussions that and correspondence we had with the building official, if I'm not mistaken, the zoning bylaw calls for, it's actually a reverse equation. You mentioned the restaurant example. You said the number of seats within the restaurant determines how many parking is required.
The parking determines.
Yes, in this case, the zoning bylaw it dictates the number of cars determines your capacity within the park. And I believe it's four persons per car is what determines the capacity within the park itself.
So then the total capacity of the park, if I understood, is 290 times 4 plus 200 times 4 over at,
We have like 460 some odd total.
526.
526.
So that's the number we're working with for capacity, 4 times 526.
It is.
Which is 2,104.
Oh, I could, yeah.
It's pretty good.
I have a calculator. I'm
Oh, okay,
not gonna-
did that right. Spot, I was like, wow.
And given that it's an average of 4 people per car, which is not like when I was a kid, you put 1,200 kids in the station wagon and went to the...
One in the trunk.
Yes, and you didn't have to have seatbelts and...
Yeah, and then there's the one car with the nanny behind,
Yeah.
so that evens it out, right?
What's the average patronage on a given, Saturday?
Well, you have capacity, and then you also have comers and goers. So, it can vary depending on the hour. But, you know, we'll run right around that, you know, capacity mark now, which I think is like 1,800, 1,850, somewhere in that vicinity, which was set prior to us purchasing the park. So, so we, you know, we tend to keep tabs on in and out and try to maintain as much as we can. We've also done things within our business model to spread out capacity. So in other words, when we took over, Monday through Friday was lower capacity, lower occupancy days. So we offer economic savings to come on those days to try to limit the burden on us and or the facility and or the town. So we've seen this summer we saw a big increase in that effort, and we saw a lot more people spreading out throughout the various days, so that way the Saturday and Sundays aren't so overwhelming for everybody.
Good plan.
Yeah, and then we've also we've done a lot of things since 2022. Is Taylor jumping in and helping with the parking helped us learn what we need to do in our parking lot to be able to efficiently load and unload you know, cars quickly. We've added signage along Cranberry Highway along the properties that we own to make sure people are aware of where our off-site parking is. We've also sent out emails ahead of time, you know, saying that, you know, it's a high-capacity day, you need to purchase your tickets online. So when we bought the park, the tickets online purchasing were about 10%, and we run about 70% now. So we're able to kind of control, you know, who's coming and going versus everybody showing up in 2022 and having to turn them away. Now it's, you know, our customers are kind of being conditioned to understand that you need to have tickets prior to showing up.
So where the parking is sort of driving the occupancy, it sounds like you wouldn't have an instance where there would be people waiting in line to get in.
We can, and we do have that instance to some degree, but because some people maybe, you know, carpool or whatever the case may be, cars fit more than some, but at the end of the day, you have people that come and people that go. They also might, you know, some people will walk to us or park at a different place we aren't aware of, but we've done a lot of improvements to make sure that we're controlling parking in and around us. Mm-hmm. And when we purchased the park, I'm not sure that was being done as accurately.
Again, Madam Chair, through you to the town planner and ultimately, I guess, for the peer review. Cranberry Highway is a state highway, is that correct?
Correct.
Are there state regulations? Has the state weighed in on this site or the traffic, or do we need that as a consideration? Or you don't have to answer it now, but that's a question that I don't understand.
Curb cut.
Well, so if I may, it is a state road. There are existing curb cuts. They will be required to coordinate their curb cuts with the state and get a state highway access permit. The state ultimately will rule on the adequacy of those entrances and exits and give them the geometry that they need to build to. So the approval of that will defer to the state. But I did want to mention, it's interesting you brought it up because I was going to ask the board tonight before we departed. You do have under your bylaw the rights to ask for traffic information.
That was my next question. Do we need a traffic study?
Yeah.
So the applicant in their materials, as I'm reviewing them here tonight, said, we're not changing the development, therefore you don't need traffic information. There's no change. My suggestion to you would be to consider getting a traffic study done in some capacity. Given the lengthy history of the project, we have no records of it. Even though Route 28 Cranberry Highway is a state roadway, I'm sure they've undertaken a number of studies, but I think you want to obtain site-specific data for this property as part of your deliberations on this application.
That was going to be my follow-on question,
Yeah.
so thank you.
Agreed. Same with me, Carl. Yes, that was my next question. Okay. That's all my questions for now.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to review everything, so I'm
Yeah,
sure I'll have
none of us
more
so
questions.
It's all sort of new to all of us, so we're just sort of,
Happening to Wendy's.
What was that?
What's happening to the Wendy's?
Currently, nothing.
Where is that on here, Sam? It's over here it's over there.
Yep.
Okay.
Currently, nothing. We're looking to redevelop it, but this is kind of step one.
Okay, 'cause I recall there's a drainage problem there.
I'm not sure.
I think that's why they closed down. It was more expensive to repair it than stay there.
Okay, and then rain that way. the Rain Car Wash. The Rain Car Wash is
that's up
right
to you.
there. Because there were drainage problems
Right.
at the Rain Car Wash as well.
Wendy's basically Wendy's built a drainage system with a store on it.
Right,
But
it's
the water
all
table-
underneath, yeah, yeah.
I mean, the drainage system was the parking lot down as far as they could go to take care of the water. It was a mess.
Okay,
We don't see any water backup currently in any of the storms we've had, so I,
Underneath.
yeah, I don't know. I was under the impression the drainage issue was inside the internal piping. But I mean, as a town, you've seen a lot of businesses along this road move out to the other side of Wareham. So I don't know if that was the driving factor in that
okay.
decision.
No, it's.
Well, I was a part of the people who owned it.
What was that?
I was a part of the partnership that owned the property.
Oh, okay.
We had massive problems with water.
Oh, yeah.
We
I bought
basically
it-
got turned down, basically built an entire system under the entire parking lot to handle the water.
Oh, yeah, because I bought it from Wendy's Inc.
Right.
Corporate.
We owned it before them, sold it to them.
Gotcha.
So before it was Wendy's, you folks had it and built that galley system and then built the building?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, just back to my
Good information,
first question
thank you.
about lighting plan. I assume that in the materials, there's a lighting plan?
Yes. Oh,
Yes,
Okay.
there is.
separate
Thank you.
from it, but,
No, I just ripped my plan apart and gave it to you.
yeah, okay.
It's attached.
Part of it, yes.
It's in our formal submission.
Okay.
Anybody else on the board before I open it
I'm
up
good.
to the public? Anybody in the audience? You've been so patient sitting here. Anybody want to say anything? Anybody online? Otherwise? No? Anything further from the board?
No, just, I think you got a sense of where
Yeah.
we're beginning to think. It looks good,
Oh, compared to what was there, it's a
It's a
massive
huge-
improvement.
although
huge
I
improvement.
think my wife hated the plan, so. She was on conservation when she didn't like the,
A lot of
it doesn't matter.
That-
It
that's-
doesn't,
That's, as they say, a conversation above my pay grade.
no, it's okay. That was more for Josh, so.
So, I guess we need to continue to date specific.
Need some time.
Yeah, for the review to happen and,
But also, if you're going to request a
Gotta get it-
traffic study from
right.
them, that will take some time.
Yeah.
So consider that in your continuation.
yeah,
Any recommendations on the time frame?
Should we request the traffic study now?
If you are leaning that way, I would
Makes
request
sense.
it now.
probably makes sense. Just because it's going to take some time to get it together and not to hold them up longer than we need to.
So we need to get the 53G account funded, we need to get the materials to fill, you need to start a traffic study, and you could coordinate with
Tomorrow.
Josh and Phil about how we typically do that.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sorry. to
no,
interrupt.
go ahead.
Josh, could I contact you and ultimately Phil about the parameters of the traffic study to make sure we don't do too much or too little or, et cetera, et cetera?
That would make sense.
Sounds
That would be
appropriate.
my thought, if we're gonna push it now, rather than wait for your preliminary review to recommend it.
So where we need to come up with a date specific, order of magnitude for the traffic study, and we can set a date and always adjust it when we know better. But,
Sounds logical.
Yeah. I think that's appropriate.
so is it 2 months, 3 months?
I would say that you should consider a continuance probably until January
Okay,
to allow the
agree.
traffic. Now, the applicant can disagree and they can ask for a different date, of course. I just,
Okay.
the
Well,
conditions to generate a traffic report is probably 4 to 6 weeks.
well, we can adjust either way,
Yeah, we can always change it.
Yeah.
yeah. So our first meeting in January is on the 12th.
Make a motion, we continue this hearing to January 12th.
Does that work for you all?
Yes, that's acceptable. Thank you very much.
12th.
Can I get a second? Okay. All in favor?
Mike Baptiste, aye.
Sam Corbett, aye.
Carl Schultz, aye.
Julie? Oh, she's muted. Jane Gleason, aye.
Julie?
Sorry, aye.
Thank you. So we're on for 1/12/26.
Very well. Thank you very much for hearing us out tonight.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just off the record, you need the site plan review to begin construction. What is your thoughts on, I should have asked on the record.
Yeah, what,
So it's, we're getting tight, you know.
wanting to get it done for summer.
That's the idea. It took us a long time to get here.
So
Do you
how
ha-
long is the construction
Yeah, what's the,
phase?
yeah.
I'll have to check with my contractors for
I'm
sure,
just
but
ballpark.
it's probably about 3 months minimum.
Okay, and you can't pour you won't be able to put asphalt down until starting in May.
Well,
End of April, beginning of May.
Yeah. And when do you open?
June, middle of June. So that's
And-
where,
No, we try and keep that in
yeah,
our
we
mind.
wanted to get in front of you guys in September, but Eric's Jewish, it was a Jewish holiday. And so I didn't want to come without him. I didn't want to come without him. And then October, we couldn't get on, and so here we're in November. So I'm well aware that I'm backing into my ability to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And so there's a very real possibility that this could need to get bumped until the following off-season, start in September.
And
Could work happen around the existing parking? And I know summer's probably crazy. I'm just
I mean,
trying to think through it.
if we can get it approved, we'll do our best to get it done.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
3 very reputable companies that I already got quotes from based on this plan. So I mean,
Yeah, I mean, in a phased manner, you could start building the offset area for the Concom. Do they need that, our approval for them to do that?
no, and we looked at doing that, but some of the materials that we need are within our existing parking lot.
Oh.
And then we're also worried about runoff, so if, I'd looked at doing that this off-season, this season, but then the concern was, is you have the vegetated wetland area, that you still have gravel existing,
Josh,
and you
I
don't
think
have
this
any
is-
drainage. So some of our dealers' concerns were, you're gonna create a vegetated
Anything else?
wetland, and then you're gonna have runoff
Yeah,
contamination.
we're off the record, so this is just
Yeah, no,
information.
I'm with you. this is a 3-year process so
Fair
far.
to say,
So,
if he could start bidding right now.
I would,
Is-
yeah. If I had approvals, I'd already be out there doing it. It's just, it took a long time to get in front of you guys, longer than it should have to get in front of you guys. Various different reasons.
Appreciate it.
And
Thank you.
just question I
And-
had on the withdrawal petition for land court. Where, did you recently file it? How far away? I'm a retired real estate attorney, so I dealt with land court every day.
Yeah, so my partner does most of the transactional work at my office, and he's handling that, but I believe they filed suit, don't hold me to this, over the summer.
Okay.
And it's going through the process right now. The notifications and all that stuff are going out. I think
Okay.
they're in that notice period, I think.
So, because you'll need that done before you can
Merge the
move
lot.
ahead. Yeah.
Do you
okay.
need to merge the lot before you can start construction?
No.
Oh.
Okay,
just
thank you.
You guys have continued the hearing already, just before
Okay.
we get too far
Sorry,
into
yeah.
maybe discussions that shouldn't
Yeah,
be discussed.
yeah. Thank you, Josh.
Sounds good.
Phil, when you do your, you should do an archaeological study on it.
I just-
I
didn't want you to get too far into the weeds, if you will. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, thankfully, we are still recording. You haven't adjourned yet.
Go
but-
for it, I'm tired.
Just 2 quick things. The first one was the email from Nancy McHale, if anybody's interested. And I saw your email response to her, and I totally appreciate that position about being frustrated with DOER not supporting the town
Oh, it's-
at all when it comes to solar. But I will say that I sat through one of a similar presentation, and I got something out of it that surprised the heck out of me, that I didn't go in expecting to get. So sometimes you can get some pleasant surprises, unintended consequences that are on the good side of things.
I'm shocked.
And then the other thing that I wanted to bring up was that Sherry Quirk reached out, and she has somebody from DOER staff who someone named Connor Rocket, who apparently he addressed Serpide while she was there, and he's helping municipalities in the southeast region of the state on renewable siting. And she was wondering if we would be interested in inviting him to come and talk to us. Now, I guess I would say yes, but we don't have any projects coming before us right now, and I think it would make more sense to postpone that or hold that sort of in abeyance until we've got something that, we apply
like
it
what?
to. I don't know what the board feels about that, but
Well, we do have a couple of pending projects, right? 370, not 370, 370.
They're looking to reapply.
They're going to reapply, and 0 Route 25 was going to reapply, right?
okay, so maybe there is some logic to,
I thought.
No, you're correct.
To what end?
I don't know, maybe we can,
We've
Man,
been
I think
trying.
it's
We've
a-
been trying to learn. I mean, it never.
I suppose I could say, maybe I'm being a Pollyanna, but maybe I could say that there's a possibility that they don't get how frustrated we are with their position and not being helpful to
I'd be
us.
willing to tell them that.
But the
Well,
other
there you
thing
go.
is,
I mean, maybe that's worthwhile.
even if we, and we're not deliberating on any project, so we
No,
can,
we're
and we're
not.
being recorded. We are still required to do good job at conditioning
Mm-hmm.
projects, and anything we can learn about good standards for good conditions is worth our attention, I think.
Well, and they may be able to offer us some assistance with that, if you lean it this way or that way, that you'll prevail, or.
No, I'm not saying trying to get it. I'm just trying to say, what are the best
Yeah, we're saying the same
practice?
thing.
What are I don't know.
We're saying the same
Yeah,
thing.
I
That
think
if
you
we
both are
can.
on the same page.
Oh,
if
I
we
thought
can-
you said lean this way or that way.
No,
I
no,
thought,
I'm saying that if we can
Misunderstood.
get them to help us understand how we can massage our conditions so that we will prevail with them.
Oh, with the conditions.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and also what other communities are doing around conditions. I mean, he's been out, I know, he's been out speaking with folks, so I think we might gather some intel as
All
well.
right, so maybe I
Yeah.
will do this sooner than I had.
Well,
sort of-
that would be my
That's-
thought.
that's fine.
Because
That too.
the way we shouldn't. I know Sam is incredibly frustrated, and I understand. The point is, we shouldn't give up the one thing we can control, which is
Conditions.
writing good conditions.
Right.
Powerful
Yep.
conditions that make sense. And we still don't understand how to condition battery storage.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I shouldn't say we. I should always personalize it. I don't understand best practices for conditioning battery storage. Or we can condition it to say, we're rewriting the bylaws. You can only put sodium ion batteries in. You can't put lithium ion in. I don't think they'd let us
Yeah,
do that.
so,
but-
well, so those are questions that we could pose to this person and maybe get some guidance that would be useful. So I will reach back out to Sherry and say, yeah, let's do that. The second part of her question was whether we might might entertain the idea of a joint meeting with the Alternative Energy Committee when this person comes, and I don't see a problem with doing that.
No, well, yes. Look, but it's an interesting group right now on that committee.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, we should do
But
it
I
at a
think-
public meeting anyway, so
Yeah.
they
yeah.
could come, but whether,
Sure.
I think reaching out to them and letting them know what's happening and let them know that they're welcome to join us probably
Yeah.
makes sense.
Agreed.
Yeah, okay.
Everyone should say hi to my daughter. I think she's watching.
Hi, Josh's daughter.
Your dad's awesome.
Little shout out.
I move that we close the meeting at 9:06.
Second. You
All-
beat me to it.
All in favor?
Mike Baptiste, aye.
Sam Corbett, aye.
Carl Schultz,
Julie
aye.
and I.
Jane Gleason, aye. Okay. What was it? At what time?
4.
Oh.
Yeah, it's well past our bedtime.